Welcome to another UCL Fantasy deadline stream. We are approaching the very end. This will be the third last deadline stream of the season for UCL Fantasy. Thank you very much to everyone who's decided to tune in today. And let's see what the lineups are for probably the biggest game of the Champions League this season so far. Real Madrid versus Manchester City in a semi-final. And the only one that's going to get bigger than that really is the final itself. So it should be very interesting. I still haven't made my transfers, but I will show you actually what I'm thinking of doing. And I think there's two different pathways, but it pretty much involves the same clubs and the same players, just in a different order. I'll explain that very shortly. But in terms of the captaincy, I don't think much has changed. I'm kind of undecided between Benzema and De Bruyne. I will be bringing in the Belgian, of course. That's no secret. I talked about it in my team selection video. And then on the second day, I think I would go for Mohamed Salah. But those of you who have like a spare Liverpool spot, I would highly recommend Sadio Mane. I think he could do really well against Villarreal, and he's been in great form despite blanking against Everton. So welcome, and let's go through all your questions as always and see what you're saying. Welcome Zodiac, welcome Mateus, welcome Aiden. My team is Ederson, Neuer, Cancelo, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Trent, Laporte, Salah, Sane, Fabinho, Danjuma, Mahrez, Benzema, Lewandowski, and Gonzalo Ramos with 6.2. So yeah, all the players obviously in, let's say, capital letters are all eliminated, or in the case of Cancelo, suspended. What I would do is probably try to keep Cancelo and instead do something like Rudiger to a City defender. We're going to get the lineups obviously, and it looks like actually, I'm going to show you very soon, the news that I think a Madrid journalist broke out, and it looks like Stones and Walker are available today. Do not bring them in right now. Wait for the lineup, but if one of them's obviously starting, then I'd highly recommend them for sure. But yeah, you already have Laporte, so I'm not going to recommend him. You got Neuer. So Neuer to Alisson is one thing you could do, Aiden. Another thing you could do is Rudiger, who's a bit more expensive than Thiago Silva. You could move him on to a City defender as well. Sane could also become Kevin De Bruyne, and you can move Lewandowski to Vinicius Jr. or Diaz, for example, depending on your preference. I think that's the kind of main players you want to kind of get rid of. So Lewandowski downgraded to Vinicius Jr. will give you enough money to do Sane to De Bruyne and the other moves you want to do. Welcome to the others here as well, like Ali CSS. Welcome Andrés. Hola Dylan, si uso el limitless para la ida en la vuelta todavía tendré la 5... no. Entonces si vos usas ahora el limitless, vos va a tener 3 transferencias en la vuelta. Entonces no importa eso, no es que lo va a llevar esos 5 transferencias de esta ronda a ese nivel. Entonces... sí, eso es la respuesta a la pregunta. I have 4 free transfers instead of 5. Is this an error? Probably not. I think you probably made a transfer very early on. So if you made one as soon as the deadline passed last time out, then yeah, that will be the cause of it. Maybe, yeah, if not, I'm not sure what the explanation for that could be. Because even with chips involved and stuff, it shouldn't do that. Welcome Nick. Yeah, news about Stones and Walker apparently training. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to put it up on screen now just so if people aren't aware. So let's get this on screen. So this is a tier 1 journalist according to Madrid Extra. So let me just get up his name quickly. So Anton Meana. So he says Walker and Stones trained when the press left. The footballers did not jump onto the pitch at first, but after the press left, they trained. That is top, you could say, Owsery from Pep Guardiola, if true. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. Either way, do not bring any of them in right now. Wait for the lineup before committing to your transfers. Welcome, Martin. Welcome, Denilson. Play my wildcard, still have Limitless. Yeah, I think I would probably use the Limitless in the second leg. I'm surprised you haven't used them already, to be fair. Should I use the wildcard? If you have a lot of eliminated players, then definitely. It's a great opportunity for you to use it already. Otherwise, I'd probably use it in the final for Matchday 13. Welcome, Mohamed. Thoughts on my team, please? Yes, Villar, Addison, Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, Laporte, Lucas Hernandez, Fabinho. Yeah, look, it's a good team. I think what you'd want to do is kind of a simple one, is with Lewandowski, get rid of him and go to Vinicius Jr. or Diaz, and that gives you enough money to make the other moves you want to do, like Sane up to Kevin De Bruyne, for example. Your defense is pretty much, well set. The only one that's out, obviously, is Lucas Hernandez. So that's not really a big priority. I think your midfield is the one you really want to improve on, and also make some changes up front because 2 of them are already out of the competition. Evening 2 as well, Mats. Let's see, what else do we have? Is it worth bringing in a second City centre-back for a -4? It depends who you get rid of. If it's an eliminated player out for a City defender, then it's not the worst hit in the world, but I personally wouldn't, go for it. I don't know if City will keep a clean sheet. I think Liverpool are probably the most likely in this round of fixtures to keep one. I'm not so sure about City, especially with the injuries or at least the suspensions of Cancelo. And if Stones and Walker do not make the team, I would be very fearful, and I think Madrid could make the most of it. Is Stones a 50-50? Well, it looks like, according to this report that I have on the screen, it looks like he could be in contention to start. The same goes for Walker, but let's wait and see in 40 minutes' time. That's pretty much the best thing we can do. Hey Dylan, I have Diaz and Benzema. Would you recommend Vinicius Jr. as the only other viable forward? Probably. There is Moreno from Villarreal, but would I recommend him when he's playing at Anfield? Probably not. The only Villarreal player I'd really consider is Danjuma. Others would include maybe Coquelin or a few others, especially in defence. Raul Albiol has been very consistent, but I'm not sure if I would really advocate for Moreno. I'd rather go for Diaz, I think, and obviously in your case it'd be Vinicius Jr. Hi Dylan, who is more likely to keep a clean sheet? Oh yeah, literally just said that as well. So yeah, Liverpool. For me, I mean, they're at home to Villarreal, and City are facing Real Madrid, who are the kings of this competition. So for me, it easily has to be them. So I'm going to go back to my team and show you what I have here. And yeah, just keep going through your questions as always. And thank you very much for the turnout. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers, and we can definitely do that. So be sure to hit the notification bell as well to never miss a single upload. Welcome, Garlic Bread. Silva or Modric? The thing is, Bernardo Silva will be at home, and that's why I would favour him in this match day. But from this point onwards, you want to make long-term transfers, and I personally prefer Modric. So basically, this round, Silva, long-term is definitely Modric for me. And Vinicius, Diaz or Jota, if I had to pick one of those three, it would be Diaz, but you never know. It could be Jota starting here, but I personally think it will be Diaz. Yeah, kind of the same thing to you, Zerga, as well. What language was I speaking? Or Spanish? Villarreal to win the whole competition, as much as I'd love it, I don't think so. They have a chance, of course. They've, anyone who reaches the semi-final has a chance, but I just don't think they will. They've got I'd say the lowest probabilities of any team left in the competition. Of course, never say never in football, but I just don't think it will be. I think it's going to be City or Liverpool, but with Real Madrid, you just never know. Bernardo Silva will hit big today, just like the round of 16 first leg. Well, maybe. I'm not so sure if we know it. We'll just wait and see. Anything can happen in football. Bernardo Silva's a quality player, but he's not necessarily known for his goals and assists, although this season he has upped it a little bit. Welcome, Asterix. Hi, Dylan. Really not sure what to do. I have a limitless chip and currently have 7 out. With 5 free transfers, would you take hits? You don't need to get rid of all of them, all those 7 eliminated players. You could just make the 5 free transfers because, let's say, for example, you play your limitless now, but then heading into the second leg, you're only going to have 3 transfers. So then how are you going to go about it? So for me, it makes no sense to play the limitless now. I would play no chip. I would just use your 5 free transfers. You don't even need to take a hit. And then use the limitless in the second leg. And then you'll have 5 free transfers heading into the final as well. Hey Dylan, mate, how's your day been so far? Exciting game coming up. It's been good. Literally just came back. So bit of a rush to get everything set up. But yeah, it's all good. What about you? And yes, I think this is the game that I really want to watch. Tomorrow, I'll be honest, I'm not that interested in it. I think I already know what's going to happen. But definitely today should be very good. I plan on playing 8 players today. Who do you recommend I play from the 2 teams? So yeah, if I had to pick, De Bruyne has to be in it. Same with Karim Benzema. I think those are the 2 players you can't go without. Other players would include Riyad Mahrez potentially or Phil Foden, but I think I'd mainly lean towards Riyad Mahrez and Laporte. So 3 from City there already and Edison. So that's 4. The remaining players, Luka Modric, Karim Benzema, so that's 6. Maybe a Madrid defender like Militao, potentially. Other than that, it's mainly just City players that I back, especially for the first leg, but you just never know. The other defender or player you could go for from City is actually John Stones, if he is in the lineup. And Gabriel Jesus obviously is going to catch everyone's eye right now. I'm just not so sure if he's going to start. Who to captain, Karim Benzema or KDB? I literally just talked about this and I'm in 50-50 about it, I'll be honest. I'm quite divided about it, but I think I would maybe lean towards KDB because he's at home and he's been in amazing form. So is Karim Benzema, to be fair. But once the lineups are out, that's when I will be finalising my decision. But right now, before we see anything, I think Kevin De Bruyne is my preference. Hi Dylan, who should I bring in? Paco Alcacer, because I need a striker from Villarreal to adjust my team. I don't think you need a striker from Villarreal personally. I don't think you need it. And yeah, for me it's Gerard Moreno, if anything, but honestly, I don't think you need it. Danjuma is the only attacking player from Villarreal I would heavily consider. Yeah, there's no need for spamming, and your question won't be answered. It's as simple as that. So yeah, there's no need for that. let's see. Let's go back to where we were. So I'm going to try to get through all your questions, but all I ask for is to be patient and you'll have your question answered, basically. It's as simple as that. Do you think tanking on seat defense is a reliable option? Are you going to sell Cancelo due to suspension? Well, I'm going to show you my plans, actually, since I'm seeing a few people ask what I'm looking to do. It's the same as my team selection video. So now, don't just look at Raul Albion and say, what? You're getting a Villarreal defender? Like, that, I'm open to that. He doesn't necessarily need to come in. It could be John Stones. So if I see him in the lineup, I probably will go for him instead. And Albion away to Liverpool, despite how consistent he's been, the ball recoveries, I just don't think he's the greatest option. But what I'm looking to do is get Kevin De Bruyne in for Leroy Sané, Vinicius Jr. for Lewandowski, and make a few other transfers like Alisson in for Svilar, and Raul Albion and Eder Militao would come in for Joao Cancelo and Thiago Silva. But I don't think you need to get rid of Joao Cancelo personally. That's the way I see it. And I actually have another set of transfers which I discussed in my team selection video, which involved keeping Cancelo. So that's something I'm still open to. I will bring him back anyway, no matter what, heading into the second leg, even if City are 2 or 3-0 down, because I would expect maybe some sort of a comeback like Chelsea almost did in the last round. So Cancelo will come back anyway, whether I get rid of him in this match day or not. It's just trying to improve my squad depth. The alternative really that I was discussing was, instead of getting Vinicius Jr., going for someone like Nicholas from Villarreal. It's just a pure bench fodder option, basically. And then that would enable me to keep Joao Cancelo as well, and also upgrade Fabinho to Sadio Mane, whilst also getting Kevin De Bruyne. And the only problem with that is that I'd also have to keep, I think, Thiago Silva potentially. So actually in that one, I think I would get rid of Cancelo anyway. So yeah, it's not ideal. And my squad depth with that set of transfers, and as much as I like Sadio Mane a lot, I would be down pretty much to 13 players, and it's not ideal. I think this is the strongest, but I'm going to put a poll out actually, and it's quite a simple one basically, but it's to do with these kind of, let's say, these defenders and goalkeepers. So I could get Alisson and Raul Albiol, or I could get Rulli and Konate. Let me know which one you prefer. Konate is going to be less likely to start than Alisson, but I still would expect the Frenchman to start there as the centre-back alongside Virgil van Dijk. And he's been so good with his aerial threat. He scored in 3 consecutive games. And Rulli does save a bit of money, because ultimately 12 million, spending over 12 million on your goalkeepers, it will really benefit me in the semi-finals, I think. But then in the final, I'll probably want to get rid of one of them anyway to get that extra money to invest in the starting 11, which is the most important thing in the final. The bench isn't really going to count for much. So that's kind of the area I'm at, and it could be John Stones instead of Raul Albiol or Walker. I'm just going to wait for the lineups to be announced, so that is kind of open to interpretation. I could even keep Joao Cancelo, but ultimately I'm not too sure what other transfers I would make if I decide to go for something like this. I'd have 0.1 million in the bank. To be fair, you don't need to use every single transfer you have, so that's something else to think about. Thoughts on Foyth? I'd actually rather go for Albiol, but obviously Foyth is cheaper, and if you need someone around that price, he's probably one of the better ones, because there's no one else really. Let's see, Vinicius or Jesus if both start. If they both start, I'd actually back Gabriel Jesus, and that's why I'm also open to seeing the lineup and possibly changing my mind about that, because Jesus obviously showed what he could do against Watford. He's not always going to do that, but he is a fox in the box. Get a cheap forward option to get Mane or replace him with Salah. I would not get rid of Salah for Mane. So honestly, the alternative is to just not get Mane. But if you really want to get him, I would get a cheap forward and sacrifice a bit of your squad depth. But so long as you have good squad depth anyway, you don't want to really hinder your team. Hi Dylan, KDB or Bernardo Silva if he plays? KDB all day long for me. And look, you never know in football, Bernardo Silva could get more points in this match day, but I personally would rather go for Kevin De Bruyne, and I really wouldn't regret it, even if Bernardo Silva ends up outscoring him. What do you prefer next to Salah, Mane, Mahrez and Danjuma? Easily De Bruyne. I think that's a quite simple question, yeah. Is it worth taking a -8 hit to get all 15 players? It's not bad, but I don't think you need to. A -4 is fine, or even just sticking with 13. You don't need to take a -8 to get 15, because some of these players, like defenders, for example, you would need them to get a lot of ball recoveries and a clean sheet and other things in order for that to really pay off. So let's see, what else do we have? I'm going to try skim through these to catch up to the chat. So get both Mane and KDB if possible. If it's possible, then yes, definitely I'd recommend it, but not at the detriment of completely, leaving these eliminated players in your team and going down to 12 or 13 players. Because if you can get to 15 players, but you don't have Mane, I'd rather go for the squad depth, I think. Militao or Robertson? Easily Robertson, all day long. I got Foden. Should I bring De Bruyne for him? Well, I think it's an upgrade. And Foden, as good as he is, I think De Bruyne is much better. So I personally would, if that's the only way you can get him. Can't believe we've come this far. Now we face City. Dylan, your prediction in the predicted game is going well. Yes, I mean, I got the Bayern one wrong, but I think most of us, wouldn't have expected what happened. I put City to win the whole Champions League in the kind of bracket thing. To be honest, looking at it now, I think Liverpool are probably the favourites, but you never know. Yeah, I'll show the score predictions soon, Jamie. And are United in the Champions League? But to be fair, Arsenal in it. But yeah, I'll show my predictions actually. Why not? So I've got 2-1 Man City, courtesy of the lineup. I'm going to see what happens there. But De Bruyne to score first, Man City to score first, standard stuff, and the Joker activated on Liverpool. 3-0 win. I'll put either Salo or Mane to score first, but you just never know. Any of the front five, whoever plays there, is pretty much going to score. So yeah. Is Alisson worth a -4? No, because even if he gets a clean sheet, his ceiling is probably 6 or 7 points. I just don't think so. Unless he saves a penalty or something, it's really unlikely. So no, it's not worth it. Courtois, Mendy, Carvajal. Oh, so the lineup is out already. Okay, so I'll try go through it later on actually. But yeah, thank you very much for pointing that out. Captain Benzema, De Bruyne. Right now I'm preferring De Bruyne, but I need to see the City lineup first before deciding. Foden or Modric. For the home leg, it would be Foden, but I still prefer Modric overall, if that makes any sense. A striker under 8.6 million, please. Okay, we'll go back here and we'll find a striker under 8.6 million for you. But, I'm just going to warn you, you might not like the results. Yeah, Moreno is injured. We got Rodrigo. I mean, he scored that crucial goal against Chelsea. I think Diaz or Jota. It has to be one of them. Gabriel Jesus is 8.6 million. I would consider him. He hasn't been great in the Champions League this season. He hasn't gotten the minutes, to be fair. But he has caused Madrid problems in the past. So, yeah, under 8.6 million, it's definitely Jota or Diaz. No doubt about it. And I think I would go for Diaz. Is there anyone else we could really talk about? Maybe Paco Alcacer, as someone rightly mentioned earlier, but I'm just not too sure. I'd rather go for the Liverpool forwards or Gabriel Jesus if you have enough money. So yeah, that's kind of my takes on it. Jesus or Vinicius Jr. If Jesus starts, I would actually rather go for Gabriel Jesus. But otherwise, obviously, it's going to be Vinicius Jr. So just wait for the lineups. Yeah, Mohammed already answered that question. My captain will probably be De Bruyne, but I'm going to wait for the lineup, and tomorrow it will be Salah. Should I use my wildcard? If you have a lot of eliminated players, once again, I probably would. But let's wait and see. Can we see your transfers? I'm not going to make them yet because I'm going to wait for the lineups. I just don't think it makes any sense. Is your captain locked for Benzema? No, because if I bring in Kevin De Bruyne, I could captain him instead, but I'm going to wait for the lineup. I'll try not to answer any more of these captaincy questions just because we've covered it already. Jesus or Vinicius? Yeah, it's kind of same thing, really. I'd go for Jesus if he starts. Just wait for the lineup, really. I use the wildcard. What will happen after? You'll have free transfers heading into the second leg, as usual. So that's pretty much it. I'd rather use it now, the wildcard or the limitless, than... well, not limitless, actually. Apologies for that. I'd rather use the wildcard right now and use the limitless in the second leg. I just don't think it makes sense to do it the other way around, personally. If Cruz is playing, I'm going for Cruz. Fair enough. I mean, UCL Fantasy-wise, I mean, you never know. He could score today, but he just doesn't really do it. I'd rather have Modric, but you never know. Good afternoon to you as well, Lewis. Already answered your question, Pedro. Militao, Carvajal or Diaz? Diaz. But if John Stone starts, I'd actually prefer him over Ruben Diaz. Gundogan's not a bad shout, to be fair. That's a good shout. Is it worth transferring Gabriel Jesus, Lewandowski out? Well, yes, but just wait for the lineup. Don't do it just yet. Wait for 20 minutes or whenever the City lineup comes out. I'm actually going to check live score and see if they've got any confirmation. Still, I think they're going to wait for both teams to announce their lineups first before anything happens. But let me bring out Real Madrid's lineup if it is indeed already out, which it probably is. I'm going to avoid using the UEFA website, at least showing it on screen, because, well, yeah, they automatically put videos up and I don't want to get copyrighted. So the Real Madrid lineup is out. Let me bring it on screen for you. So thank you very much to the person who pointed that out. That's much appreciated. So this is the lineup for Real Madrid. Courtois, Carvajal, Eder Militao, Alaba. He was actually a doubt heading into this game, but he is there. Ferland Mendy, no surprises there. Casemiro misses out, which was quite expected actually, but he's on the bench to be fair. He's fit enough to be on the bench. It's a pretty decent looking bench to be fair. So Cruz, Modric, Valverde, and Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Benzema. So yeah, not too many surprises there, if any. Let me know what you guys think of the lineup. I'm just waiting for that City one before I decide on the captaincy fully and also in terms of my transfers. Yeah, thank you, Zerga. What do you think about Robertson? Well, UCL Fantasy-wise, I actually prefer Trent, but in FPL, I prefer Robertson over Trent right now, if that makes any sense. Trent gets more ball recoveries, but Robertson's attacking threat is obviously just so good at the moment, and he's probably the best defender in the world at the moment, or at least up there. Definitely the best left back, I'd say. Got bench boost and free hit left. Is it worth taking a -8 to get double gaming players, etc., adding 2 Villa, 2 Everton? We'll talk more about this in the FPL streams, but yes, I think it is worth it. But even then, the bench boost, don't overrate the chip. It's probably the worst one you have, and ideally you wouldn't want to take the -8. But yes, it can be worth it, especially if you bring in quality players and you're bringing in some Villa and Everton ones who have good fixtures, so that makes sense. Looking forward to owning Arsenal assets next season. They're not in the Champions League already, though. That's the thing. Spurs could still get into it. It's going to be, a fight until the end, I think. And Spurs have the better fixtures, so I still think they're the favourites. Kanate can't stop scoring. Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised. Ever since I said, well, I'd rather have Robertson and Trent for the attacking threat, this guy just keeps on scoring. So there you go. Have you ever considered playing games on stream in the summer? Yes, I have. I talked about this in the last stream as well. Apart from F1 Fantasy content, there could be gaming videos as well for different games. It could be Uncharted, Batman Arkham City or something like that. It could be some of the newer games as well, although I'll be honest, I'm not as keen on it. Raquel, the lineup is out. The lineup is out. Zinchenko, good bet. Honestly, I think there's better options. Wait for the City lineup. I think if Stone starts, he's better. Walker, Diaz. I just personally wouldn't go for Zinchenko, but you just never know. I still have both chips. Would you recommend Wildcard for the second leg and Limitless for the final? No, I'd rather use the Wildcard now because you can benefit this leg and also in the next one, basically. I don't think it makes any sense to use in the second leg, although you never know, to be fair. And if you get a lot of injuries heading into that period, then it makes sense. But right now, as things stand, I just don't think it makes sense there, Bilal. You think Diaz will start? Yes, but I can't guarantee it. That's the problem. Any Real Madrid defenders or midfielders worth it? Of course. Modric for me is the best Real Madrid midfielder. Defenders, it will be Militao. Vinicius, Van Dyke and Modric, Mahrez or Jesus, Laporte and Mane. It'd have to be Vinicius, Van Dyke and Modric long term, although the other arguably has a higher upside. But wait for the lineup. If Jesus isn't starting, I'd definitely go for the first trio. My predictions I put earlier in the stream. So 2-1 City, but I need to see the lineup first before I finalise it, and 3-0 Liverpool. Although that could change to 2-0. Thoughts on Thiago? I mean, it's not a bad option, but I just think there's better. And would I spend this Liverpool spot when I can get Kanate, Trent, Robertson, Alisson, Fabinho, Mane, Salah, Diaz or Jota? Not for me. So I think there's better options from Liverpool. Should I get Mane even in place of someone who plays in my team like Kupue? I'll have 12 players. Look, that's not too bad, but you're only going to have 12 players. I'd rather use your transfer on getting that 13th or 14th player, personally. Diego Jota, I don't think he's going to, or at least between him and Diaz, I think Diaz is more likely to start. So, yeah, I'm just sticking with Diaz. I'm not going to transfer Diaz out, personally. How do you learn Spanish, bro? I speak it at home. Hayden, I use the wildcard. Yeah, already answered that question. Try not to spam the chat. Rodrigo time? Possibly. Still have both chips. Yeah, already answered that question. Vinicius, Van Dyke and Modric, Mahrez, yeah, already answered that question as well. I'm going to try not, basically just going to go over those questions, the ones I already answered. Jesus outscored Benzema. Well, maybe in this leg, but overall, you'd probably back Benzema to do the business. And if City don't have Walker or Stones, then they could be in big trouble, in my opinion. Should I keep Mahrez? Yes, I think so. Mahrez or Mane? Well, it would be Mane in that case, but Mahrez is still worth keeping. Yep, the Madrid lineup is already out. We've got it on screen. Let's see. This is your final squad? No, it's not my final squad. KDB or Modric? KDB, definitely. No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm doing well, Joker Smile. What about you? Thank you very much for tuning in as always. Okay, yeah. Just trying to keep an eye on the spammers, basically. Yeah. Alright, cool. Look at Madrid Twitter. Yeah, I'm literally on it, mate. I'm literally on it. I use the wildcard. Yeah. I literally answered that question. I don't know why. Yeah, whatever. You're out. Rodrigo or Jota? I'm not sure if Jota starts. Otherwise, it definitely would be him, basically. So I honestly just don't know. So if you just want to go for the safety, go for Rodrigo. He's definitely starting, as you can see on screen. Carvajal or Militao? I'd have to go for Militao for the ball recoveries. And In terms of goal threat, I think he's slightly better, although Carvajal obviously poses the assist threat there. Yeah, Mane is definitely in form, but would I sacrifice squad depth and keep eliminated players? I'm just not so sure. James to Alonso for a -8. This is FPL, I'm guessing. No, I wouldn't do that. What do you think about Gabriel Jesus? If he starts, then I think he's a good option, and he could actually be even better than Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr., but right now, I don't see anything from Manchester City. I'm going to keep an eye on their lineup, but yeah, I think they'll probably release it in 18 minutes, which is what they tend to do. Sometimes, I mean, Real Madrid last time as well released it very early, basically an hour and 45 minutes before the game started. I'm surprised Camavinga didn't start because he is the natural replacement for Casemiro. Yeah, true, but I don't know, Camavinga tends to come off the bench whenever I watch Real Madrid, especially in the Champions League. So, yeah, Valverde, Kroos and Modric as the midfield. I mean, that's pretty much what I expected with Casemiro reportedly missing out entirely, but at least he's on the bench. Yeah, Militao over Alaba. I mean, if you look at the points returns, Alaba got a lot of his at the beginning of the season, and it's mainly due to attacking contributions, which I just don't think are sustainable. Look, Alaba's a good option, but I just think Militao, personally, is arguably even better. Mane over Robertson. Already have 5 Liverpool players. If you already have 3 Liverpool defenders, for example, like Konate, Trent and Alisson, something like that, then I definitely would go for Mane, no doubt about it. But Robertson, I think, is just more consistent than Mane. But then you look at Mane's form is so good. But then just look at Robertson. I think I'd still go for Robertson if I had to pick one. Is Walker playing? We'll find out in 15 minutes time, basically. But apparently he has been training. What happens in the final of UCL? How many players can we have in the final? You can have, I think, 8 players from one team, basically, and then obviously 7 from the other. Already have Trent and Van Dyke, Robertson or Alaba. Robertson all day long, mate. I don't even care if you already have 2 Liverpool players already in defence. I'd go for Robertson. Should I get a -4 points to make 1 extra change? It depends what the change is, honestly. Time for City to give Lille Real Madrid some guide on how to play football. Yeah, but the thing is with Madrid, like, City could batter them, dominate, you know, create so many chances, and Madrid can still win. So I'd urge a bit of caution, basically, because Madrid, this is their competition, and they always find a way to win. Real Madrid could be out both legs. Well, they could lose both legs, yes, but then they could even just get a draw or whatever, get a grindy win. I wouldn't put it past them, honestly, despite the fact that I think City are so much better, and I think only Benzema and a few other players get in. Honestly, I think Madrid have a good chance as well. If I have to change only 11 players, should I take a hit to make 1 sub? So yeah, if you only have 11 players, then yes, I think it is worth taking a hit to get 1 sub. Yes, I think it is. Just for a bit of squad depth, although it's not ideal, personally. I don't think it's ideal. Should we take hits to get a full 11, full 15? No, I don't think you need a full 15 necessarily. As long as you have 13 or 14, I think that's fine. You don't need to take hits to get 15. Yeah, I have no idea what he's saying. I have no idea why they release it so early, but it depends on the club and also the country. Like, I think Bayern Munich sometimes, or a few other clubs, they release it basically around this time, and then Madrid do it even earlier, and then you have the Premier League clubs that do it pretty much when you expect them to. Foden play? I think so, but we're going to get the lineups in 15 minutes, so there's no point of me speculating, in my opinion. I have in the forwards Benzema, Luis Diaz and Jesus. What do you think? It's probably the best front three you can assemble if Jesus starts, so just wait and see. Vinicius or Jesus, if Jesus starts once again, I'd go for him, but let's wait and see for the lineup. I can't really say anything else other than that. Sterling playing and Walker. I'm not sure about Sterling. As for Walker, if he's fit, you know, obviously it's just rumours that we talked about earlier, then yes, he could be playing. I'm going to go back to my team, by the way. We've seen this lineup long enough. I will bring the City lineup shortly as well. But as you can see, these are my current transfer plans, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And I can make an additional transfer, get whichever other City defender starts between Walker and Stones, potentially in for Cancelo. So I'm a bit open-minded about this. I'd love to have Sadio Mane, but unfortunately, I just don't know if I'm able to do it. And if Jesus starts, I'd be tempted to go for him over Vinicius Jr. So let's wait and see what happens. Rodrigo also catches my eye, although I would rather have, I think, Vinicius Jr. if we're looking at both of them. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process at the moment. KDB or Foden? I think it's quite easy. I'd go for KDB. Do you think Modric will ever get tired? Yes, but maybe not today, basically. Mahrez or Modric? I'd rather have Mahrez, at least for the first leg. Should I take a -4 for an extra change? Unless you're struggling to get an 11 or 12 players, I wouldn't do it. Modric is better than KDB? I don't think so. Modric, look, over his career, you could argue he is, but not right now. I think KDB is the best midfielder in the world. Modric is probably still top 3, but for me, Kevin De Bruyne is definitely better. Militao or Alaba? Militao, mate. Sane, Kimmich, Sane, Lewandowski to Diaz, Vinicius Jr., Militao and KDB. Thoughts? I have no objections to those transfers. They look really good, and that looks solid. If you have no other City defensive coverage, then you could consider one of Laporte, Stones or Walker, depending on who starts, obviously. Start Laporte or Modric. Honestly, look, I don't want to sound like a broken record for those that obviously know this already, but you can make substitutions in UCL Fantasy. You don't need to bench one of them. You're basically missing out on points. Start both of them. Bench players that are playing on the Wednesday like Salo or whoever, and then you can bring them on if they blank or they don't do too well. How is Modric a long-term pick if City are favourites? I mean, this is the thing. I don't think City are as big favourites as people would suggest. I mean, I think City will go through. The reason why is because I think Modric will do better across the two legs than the likes of Phil Foden. Now, that's just a personal opinion. You can do what you want with that. Captain for today is De Bruyne or Karim Benzema. I need to see the City lineup first before I decide. Yeah, I already answered that question, mate. Try not to spam the chat. I'm going to see if you've done it again. Yeah, I don't think you have. Hopefully you haven't. Madrid players too old. Yeah, but they're still getting results. But yeah, there definitely has been a decline for Madrid compared to recent years, at least. Straight after Ronaldo left, they were looking really awful. And then they picked up a little bit, in the final year of Zidane and then with Ancelotti again now. But yeah, they're still obviously not the same, but they're still kind of aging like fine wine in a way. Vinicius or Mane? Mane, all day long. Do you think Villarreal can take down one of the legs? Yes, they can win a game, especially at home, but I don't see them winning at Anfield. I know Inter Milan did it, so it's not impossible. But I think, yeah, they can, but I just don't see it. Benzema, Jesus, Luis Diaz in the forwards, I mean, that's fine. But once again, I mean, if Jesus isn't starting, then it's not ideal, is it? And then the front three doesn't look as solid. But otherwise, yeah, it looks good. Rodrigo or Vinicius? I'd rather go for Vinicius, I think. Jota or Luis Diaz? Luis Diaz for me. I think he's more likely to start. Thank you, Steve. Best wishes to you as well. Konate or Van Dyke? I'd actually rather go for Konate, although Van Dyke is going to be much more nailed, so he just gives you that peace of mind, but I think Konate is arguably even better. Danjuma, Mane, KDB or Modric, Mahrez, KDB? Good question. I think I'd rather go for Danjuma, Mane and KDB. I don't have transfers left to get Mane out, and I still have 4.9 Ramos left. Yeah, no, look, that's fair enough. Either way, you're probably in a good position anyway, Joker Smile. Yeah, I think I answered that question already. How do I change formation? Just by making substitutions. There's no button anymore to change formations or flick through them, but you can just... Let's say, for example, you have 3 defenders. You bring another one off your bench for a midfielder. You had a 3-4-3, then you can go to a 4-3-3, for example. So it's quite simple. Watching the game with dinner. I'm probably eating dinner during, late on the game. I eat dinner quite late. Should I sell Lewandowski for Benzema? Of course, I think it's just a very easy move. Benzema's the best striker left in the competition, for sure. Stone starting at right back. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So let me get the lineups then. Thank you very much for putting that out. Let's see if City have it on their Twitter. No, they don't. So probably on UEFA's website. Hopefully they have got it there. That'd be great. Let's see. I'm going to check this for you. I'm not sure if I'd be able to bring it on screen, though. I don't see it, actually. But yeah, Stone starting at right back, not really too surprising if true. Let's see if there's anywhere I can see this lineup. Maybe it's just the news of him starting more than anything else, and the full lineup isn't out yet. Stones. Yeah, okay, I see where you got it from now. Yeah, I think I might bring John Stones in, actually. So thank you very much for pointing that out. So this is what he's talking about. So RMC Sport have reported that John Stones is starting at right back. That's pretty much it. And let me know what you guys think. I think Stones is a great option. I'd rather go for him than Militao, even though I've got no Real Madrid defensive coverage. So maybe I'll balance things out a little bit more. But I personally, and look at this, City fan thinking they're winning the Champions League. Good luck. I mean, they can. I'm just saying they can, but let's wait and see. Best time to use Wildcard, I'd say right now or ahead of the final. Rodrigo, Jota or Alisson? Alisson. I mean, I think it's quite self-explanatory. Okay, let me make it very, very clear. So this is how you change the formation. I mean, hopefully you're not a troll or something, and if you are, enjoy your laughs or whatever. But let's say, for example, you've got 3 defenders, you want to add another one in. You literally just do this and you change your formation. So you want to go to 4 defenders, and then you just take them out, and that's it. Like, it's very simple. I'm being serious. Like, that's literally what you do, and that's how you change your formation. So Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can say. That's how you change the formation. There's no button anymore to change it. Either way, it's not about the formation. Just make sure you click on the date here, you toggle, and anyone playing on the 26th of April today is in your starting 11. That's all you need to do, and captain someone who's playing today. That's literally it, and it's very, very simple. If you've got any doubts, check my UCL Fantasy tutorial guide, and then that should answer any questions you have. But either way, I'm going to bring Sane back in because Robertson will just be sitting on my bench anyway. And don't worry, Sane will not be in my lineup anymore. And I think I've had him since Matchday 1, if anything. But yeah, once the lineup for City is officially confirmed, I will then be locking in transfers. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly when. So just, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of questions here. I'm trying to get to. Yeah, Harry, I didn't see your question. Yeah, just repeat your question and I'll get back to it. Lo Celso plus Danjuma double up. Yes, yes. Lo Celso's been a really good signing for Villarreal, and Emery liked him even from his PSG days. So I'm not too surprised by that. And Danjuma's been a completely different player compared to when he was at Bournemouth. Camavinga must come on from the bench for Cruz. That's their tactic. I mean, that's what they did against Chelsea, isn't it? But yeah, that's a good point. Why does Pep always rotate Jesus? I mean, City have a lot of players. It's really hard to just, criticise Pep for not starting Jesus. Yes, he scored 4 goals against Watford, but it is Watford after all. He deserves more minutes, that's for sure. I'm not sure exactly why, to be honest. I think they just have so much quality. The likes of Mahrez don't start a lot in the Premier League, should I say. Welcome, Singh. How do you think matches today go? Yeah, I think Liverpool will win 3-0 tomorrow. And as for today, I think City will win 2-1, but I need to see the lineup. Surely Madrid play for a draw, so the second leg of the Bernabeu is more of a one-off game. Yeah, true. I mean, they did that against PSG, isn't it? They were very defensive. They almost nailed a 0-0 draw, but then Mbappe scored in the dying embers of the game. But PSG really should have won that, basically. And then against Chelsea was the reverse. Chelsea made so many mistakes. They were fragile. They capitalised. And then in the second leg, they were a bit more cautious and defensive because they had that lead already. I'm not so sure. I mean, you may raise a good point, Harry, but I'm not sure because it could be Madrid going, guns blazing in the first leg and then in the second leg being more defensive. You just never know. But I think on paper, you would be right. Vinicius or Mane? Mane. Captain for today's match, De Bruyne or Benzema? Let's see. So I'm going to go down. I think we've answered a lot of these questions already. So, yeah. Yeah, Stones starting out right back. Jorginho is better than Modric? No. No. I mean, don't be fooled by Jorginho finishing third in the Ballon d'Or rankings. I'm telling you, Jorginho isn't even the best midfielder, in my opinion, at Chelsea or at Italy. So, I just don't think so. Modric is definitely better. Danjuma, Mane, KDB. Yeah, I think I answered your question already a few times. Yeah, Modric's stamina is incredible. He literally plays 90 minutes every game. Yeah, and he's an all-rounder. He tracks back. He makes some great tackles. He's in the final third creating chances. He's a great player. Rudiger will take whose spot in Madrid? That's a good question. Maybe Militao? I think Alaba would stay in the team. Militao is kind of an understudy. I think he's 24 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, John Stones at right back. I'm quite tempted by that. Let's see, how far off are we from the chat? Yeah, okay, kind of catching up, but yeah, I'm trying to get through all the questions. It's quite hectic right now. Good evening to you as well, Flying Dutchman. Yeah, a tweet from CE Extra where they're reporting what RMC Sports said. Best defenders to get except for Trent and Robertson? I'd say Konate and Laporte, definitely. Is a -4 worth it to take out a cheap enabler for a starter? Yes, it is worth it, especially if the start is Kevin De Bruyne or Mane, for example, but it just depends. 6.3 million defender, any suggestions? Konate or Laporte, definitely. Lineups are out in 30 minutes. Normally you would think so, but actually in Champions League it tends to be an hour and 15 minutes before the actual game starts, so it would be in 4 minutes, you would think. Pick 2, Foden, Jesus, Vinicius, Modric. Look, once again, I don't want to sit on the fence, but it depends on the City lineup because Jesus might start and I'd really like him as a result. But it would be Modric and possibly Jesus if he starts, yes. Walker not playing? It doesn't seem so. It looks like it's going to be John Stones there. Do Argentines have the culture for eating 10 p.m? I mean, I don't eat at 10 p.m. personally. It's just kind of a bit before, but yes, I mean, it's quite similar. It depends though, because some families will then, I don't know, let's say acclimatise to the UK, for example, and eat dinner at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. whenever they do, which is crazy, to be honest. Militao or Diaz? I have Trent, Robertson and Laporte. Diaz. My transfers are the same as yours, except I have Jesus potentially coming in. Yeah, no, same here. I'm just going to wait for the lineup. I think that's a good set of transfers. Easily yellow card for Stones. He's too slow for Vinicius Jr. But it's not all about pace, though. And John Stones isn't actually that slow, in my opinion. And Vinicius, as much as he's had a good season, he still isn't the greatest winger, let's say. How would your limitless team look like? I made a video about it. Check it out. I don't think anything changes there, especially with Stones being in the starting 11. How did your F1 go? Pretty average, I think, because I turbo drived, if I can even say that, Leclerc. And what else? Oh yeah, I think in one of my other teams I used the Mega Drive on Leclerc and the turbo drive on Sainz. Once again, didn't learn my lesson. But yeah, overall it's going alright, but I'm around 76k, I think, something like that. Mane, Militao or Mahrez, Robertson and 6.3 million defender. Any suggestions? 6 point, yeah, I think I answered that question already. Haven't done fantasy since Euros. Really excited for the World Cup. Thank you very much, Sheena. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the World Cup. I probably will make content for that as well. But yeah, Euros was quite different. I actually liked it, you know. It was quite different, I'd say. Should I play 4 Liverpool defensive or bring Eder Militao instead of Van Dijk? That's a good question. I think I'd really want to go big on Liverpool, but one Real Madrid coverage isn't too bad. So if you've got Konate or Alisson, Trent, Robertson, and you know you want to balance things out a little bit more, I'll just go for Militao. Should I choose Alisson and Scott Carson to afford someone like KDB or Mane? I mean, yes. I mean, if that's your way of doing it and you still have good squad depth, I would do it, yes. Diaz or Jota? Really difficult for me to say, but I think that Diaz is more likely to start. If Jesus is playing, will you put him in? Yes, and I mean, clearly would be for Lewandowski, you know, or in Vinicius Jr.'s place, as you can see on screen. Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of Benzema or Luis Diaz, I think. We should get the lineups pretty much in a minute or two, unless it's already out. So I'm going to check. Yeah, it's still not out, so I'm going to keep an eye on it. Modric or Mane? It has to be Mane. On the app and iPad, you can only toggle to date on the transfer page. That's quite weird. Thank you for letting me know that, actually. I do have an iPad myself, but I don't use it for UCL Fantasy. But yeah, I would highly recommend toggling to the date. It's very important when you sort your team out. Lineups are out. Yes. I'll read it out in a minute, basically, when I can get it on Twitter. Maybe on LiveScore would be the way to go. Hopefully they've got it there. Yeah, confirm lineup. So Ederson, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Jesus and Foden. Wow, I'm very tempted by Jesus now. Yeah, I like it. So yeah, I don't really change my mind. I think I recommended Jesus earlier to some people. I think I do the same thing. Now, Vinicius Jr. has been the more consistent of the two across the season, but Jesus, you know, I'm going to change things up a little bit. So thank you very much for pointing that out. The Real Madrid lineup is there, as we discussed earlier, so no surprises for them. Casemiro makes the bench. Yeah, okay, so we're going to go back to the drawing board, and I think I would get Gabriel Jesus in instead of Vinicius Jr. And I'll do something like this. And then the other transfer could be John Stones in for Cancelo, although maybe I'm going a bit too much on Man City, you could say. But something like this would look pretty good. Now, look, for those of you that will probably say, well, why are you not getting Konate? Unfortunately, I can't get Alisson and Konate. I already have the kind of maximum number for Liverpool players, which is 6. So yeah, I think I might go for something like this. I'd have 3 Madrid. You know, I've got plenty of City. How many do I have? 3, 4, 5. And I'd have 6 Liverpool and 1 Villarreal. So going really big on 2 teams, but still quite balanced between Madrid and City, in my opinion. So I'm going to put a poll out, actually, and see what you guys think as well. But yeah, I think, would it really change? I guess you could say so. So yeah, I'm going to put this poll out and see what you guys think. Which duo do you prefer? So this is kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm going to put a few polls out actually today, such as the captaincy. Benzema versus De Bruyne. I think I would go for De Bruyne right now, personally, for those of you that are wondering. Let me know what you guys think. That's the more important thing. So yeah, I'm going to put this out. So yeah, Alisson plus Stones, which to be fair looks very strong. Or it would be Rulli. Yeah, I think I know who's going to win this one, actually, when I put it like this. Yeah, well, either way, I'm going to put the poll out and see what you guys think. So yeah, we're going to catch up to the chat right now, actually. We've gone through a lot of these questions already. Modric won the Ballon d'Or, so why the comparison between Jorginho and Modric? Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, look, football's about opinions. I just don't see how Jorginho is better. I mean, he won the UEFA Best Player a few years ago, but either way, look, as much as Modric is really good, you know, he's a fantastic player, I don't think he deserved the 2018 Ballon d'Or, personally. It should have been either Messi, Ronaldo, or Salo. I think all of them had a better case. But obviously, Modric was still, you know, worthy of top 5. Not as bad as Jorginho third, though, I'll say. Diaz or Walker? Walker's not starting, and either way, I think I'd rather go for Stones of the lot. So let's see. Yeah, Jesus is playing. Thank you very much for those that pointed out that the lineups are out. So yeah, we're going to catch up to the chat now, which is good. Captain Mars or Foden? Mars would be my preference. Force on Van Dyke, Robertson Jr., Mane and KDB in. Yes, I like them. I don't really have any objections. You could consider Jesus instead of Jr., but that's fine. Yeah, I prefer Jesus over Vinicius. Stones for ball recovery or attacking threat? For ball recoveries, really. It's not like I necessarily think he's going to get a lot of goals or assists from the right back position, although never rule it out. So yeah. Are you taking a hit? No. I'd strongly recommend not taking hits if possible. Yeah, thank you, Superstar, for putting the lineup out as well. I have 8 players eliminated and Cancelo suspended. Should I wildcard? Yes, definitely. It's a great opportunity for you to wildcard, mate. Yeah, City lineups are out on UEFA. Yep. Like I said, I try to avoid using that site because they pop up videos and I don't want to get copyrighted. Mane or Mahrez? Mane. Last defender spot, 5.7 million. Should I go Konate for triple Liverpool defence or do I go somewhere else? I think I'd go Konate, honestly. Stones or Diaz? I'd go for Stones. Diaz and Foden or Rodrigo and Mahrez? Good question. I think I'd go for Diaz and Foden. But both duos are really good, actually. It's very, very close. Jesus quadruple. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, mate. I wouldn't mind that, especially if I bring him in. Should I take a -8 hit now and save the wildcard? Just use the wildcard right now, mate. Honestly, I just don't think it's worth it. Do you think Jesus plays the 90? I'm not too sure. I haven't actually checked his minutes in the Champions League specifically. It's not something I've really made a note of. But so he played 22 minutes against Atletico, got a yellow card. 90 minutes against Sporting. 36 minutes, obviously coming off the bench there against PSG. 22 minutes there. I mean, look, only one start, is it? In the Champions League this season. It's crazy. Only 2 starts since game week 22, as I discussed in FPL in my transfer tips video. So yeah, he just doesn't get the minutes he deserves, really. But I'm not sure if he gets the full 90. I mean, what you see here is that when he does get, when he does start, he does get the full 90 in the Champions League. But it's only one, once. It's not much. Let's say I forgot the word. I'll just forget that. But yeah, it's not much to really judge off. Tell me what's the Limitless. The Limitless is like the free hit. So you've got unlimited budget restrictions. It lasts for 1 game week, or match day in this case. So yeah, that is what the Limitless is. Yeah, Jamal, clearly the wildcard would be great for you. I don't know why you'd want to save it. F2, I'm not sure what you... you're talking about the 2018 Ballon d'Or. I mean, well, yes, Messi was the best individually, and the Ballon d'Or right now is an individual award. Obviously, back then, team awards were a big thing as well. Yeah, I'm guessing you're a bit of a Messi hater, but anyway. Are you going to make them 5 transfers? Maybe. Obviously, I'm just going to wait and see. It's very likely that I will. But, yeah. Just, obviously, I know it's kind of a common thing, for people to copy teams and stuff. I would highly recommend just making your own transfers and your own moves and backing your own gut. Because long term, that's how you improve as a manager. I'm not saying you are necessarily waiting for me to make my transfers then copy. But I know some people do that, in general. In FPL, for other content creators as well. So, yeah, just my own opinion on that. Griezmann deserved the Ballon d'Or more than Modric. I mean, Griezmann had a great season, but I honestly, once again, would go back to those 3. Messi, Ronaldo and Salah. I think they should have been the top 3. I think it was very simple. Should I get Jesus for Haaland? Yes. I mean, yeah. I think that's a good transfer. Is Jesus really that amazing good? Not necessarily, but I just like the differential side of it. I like the upside. And Jesus is a good player. I'm not going to say he's amazing, but I think he's a good player. And I wouldn't mind him at Arsenal now, seeing what he's done against Watford, although it's Watford. And also, whenever he does play for City, he just seems to be very good. And he's got an incredible goal and assist ratio compared to the amount of games he's actually played. Bernardo Silva, Danjuma. I mean, normally for me it's Danjuma, but Danjuma away at Liverpool and Bernardo Silva at home to Madrid. I think I would go for Bernardo Silva if I had to pick one. Zinchenko or Laporte? Easily Laporte all day long for me. I could be wrong, by the way, but it's just my opinion. De Bruyne and Ramos for -4. Foden and Jesus. I would not get rid of De Bruyne, especially for -4. No chance for me. KDB or Mane? I'd actually go for Mane for the first round because he faces Villarreal at home. De Bruyne is facing Madrid, so yeah, it has to be Mane for me. Konate or Robertson? I'd still go for Robertson. I'm still sticking to my guns there. Limitless for this round? Look, I mean, I've already covered it in my video, the best Limitless team. I put both the best wildcard and Limitless team in that video. You'll see it there, and not much has changed, if anything. Fair enough. I mean, I'll put a poll out there, actually, talking about Vinicius versus Jesus. Look, I'm still open to getting Vinicius, but I'm very tempted by Jesus, and currently I am leaning more towards him. Stones or Militao? I'd go for Stones if I had to pick one. I have 5 players out. Should I Limitless or not? You could just use your 5 free transfers or sorry, K, should I say. No, I would just use Limitless in the second leg, if anything, because let's say, for example, you Limitless now, then going into the second leg, you have free transfers, but you have 5 players eliminated. So why not make the 5 transfers now and go about that way? That's just the way I see it. Let me know if you disagree. Mahrez and Fabinho or Mane and Rodri? Great question. I think I would go for... that's really tough. I think I'll go for Mane and Rodri, although there's not much in it. Should I captain Salo or Benzema? Yeah, Luca, just captain Benzema because you captain someone from today. If they don't do well, you can captain Salah tomorrow. Yeah, the same goes for your substitutions. Do not captain someone that's playing tomorrow because you can do that tomorrow if your first captain blanks. And the same goes for your substitutions. Salah for Mahrez or Silva? I'd rather keep Mahrez and sell Silva, Pranav. If people have Limitless, when should we use it? The second leg, so match day 12, I'd say. I have 6 eliminated players and Cancelo. Should I wildcard this week or do 5 free transfers and save it for the finals? That's a good question. I think that's quite a difficult one because what you could do, the way you could play it, Adjwani, is use the wildcard now, be very aggressive on the semi-finals. So, you know, you can go for Mane, De Bruyne, you can go really big. And then let's say, for example, City get knocked out heading into the final. You can have that wildcard in your back pocket and then completely mould your team. You can have bench fodder options on the bench and then focus on the starting 11. So actually, in your case, I think I would wildcard in matchday 13. Sorry. Wildcard now and then do it that way, yeah. Mahrez or Foden? Mahrez, easily. Limitless, already answered that. Try not to spam the chat. Captain Mahrez or Benzema? I'd go for Benzema personally out of the two, but Mahrez is a great option as well. Foden or Mane? I'd go for Mane, yep. Should I get Diaz, Fabinho, Salo, Laporte and Edison? I think they're good transfers, yeah. I don't have any problems with any of them, to be honest. Diaz or Stones? I prefer Stones. Foden or Modric? Good question. I think I'd go for Modric still, actually, yep. Thank you, Flan Dutchman, for moderating the chat. Yeah, Adjwani already answered your question. De Bruyne plus Konate or Modric and Robertson? I think I'd go for De Bruyne and Konate. Mane or KDB? I'd actually go for Mane right now. But if you've already got that many Liverpool players, in that case, yeah, just go for KDB then. But there's not much to split them, really. De Bruyne or Benzema for captain? I'm going for De Bruyne, I think. Captain KDB or Jesus? I'd go for KDB. Mahrez and Modric or Modric and KDB? For this leg, I'd go for Mahrez and Modric. Sorry, no. Forget what I said. Sorry. Modric and KDB, just go for that easily. I thought you said KDB in both instances. Vinicius Jr. or Gabriel Jesus? Very close. I think I'd go for Gabriel Jesus. So let's check the poll. So 79% of you went for Alisson and Stones. So thank you very much for voting. We're going to end that now, 80%. So yeah, and I think that's quite comprehensive. 210 votes. We're now going to put a poll out. This will be more interesting, I think. Which forward do you prefer if you had to pick one? So we're going to put the Battle of the Brazilians, really. I might put another one in Rodrigo to make it even more interesting. So Jesus, Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo. So let me know which forward you prefer. I'm actually going to take a short break. I'll be back very soon. And yeah, be sure to vote in the poll. I'll try to skim through all these questions as well. I say skim. Go through all these questions, but quite quickly, kind of quick fire, and get all your questions and comments and stuff all answered. So be right back very soon. Just about in a minute or so. All right, we are back. We are back. So there we go. Hopefully, well, I mean, obviously I encourage all the questions anyway, but hopefully we're not too far behind now. We probably are. So 50% of you are going for Gabriel Jesus, 42% for Vinicius, and only 8% for Rodrigo. So maybe he's the differential out of those lot. Over 155 of you have voted already, so that's good to see. Thank you very much. I'm going to put a captaincy poll anyway. I've already made my feelings clear about that, so yeah, I'm not going to talk about that too much more anyway. Let's see. So let's go through these very quickly. Valverde, Robertson, Jesus, or Trent, Rodrigo, Rodri. I would go for Trent, Rodri, and Rodrigo. Mahrez or Salah? Still Salah for me. Is there a third place in UCL? There's no third place. It's only in the Euros, Copa America, and the World Cup. So really the kind of international competitions. Danjuma or Modric? I would go for Modric out of the two. I'm thinking of taking a -4 to ensure that I've still put players in the competition. I still have Cancelo, but thinking of keeping him. Is it worth it in your opinion? Yes, I think so. I think it's worth it. Well, in terms of refreshing the page, there's no point of refreshing this transfer page. But yes, I'll refresh the other one, this screen that you see on screen here. But either way, I think I'll lock in my transfers fairly soon, actually. Yeah, I think I will. And then I'll just go back to this. But like I said, I mean, this is probably not going to attract too many people. But honestly, you know, making your own decisions on UCL Fantasy or FPL, whichever game it may be, is the best way to improve long term. So I'd highly recommend not just copying what, not even just me, but what other people do, you know, player for player. I just don't think that's the way to go personally. Diaz or Jota? I personally would go for Diaz out of the two, but I might be wrong. Yeah, Jesus might not start in the second leg, but he's a very good punt for the first one. But yes, that's a good point. And then you might want to keep him for the second leg, and then in the end he doesn't start. That's a good point. I think that's fair. KDB or Benzema Captain? Yeah, I think I would rather go for KDB, but we'll talk about this more later on. Yeah, I made a little break, Guru. I made a little break. I have 7 eliminated players and Cancelo no chips. What should I do? Just make 5 free transfers and keep Cancelo, Andres. That's literally all you have to do, and you'll still have quite a few players in your squad. First City penalty. If Mahrez wins it, he takes it. Yeah, look, I like Mahrez a lot, and he's got penalties, I think. It's between him and De Bruyne, really. I think those two and Jesus would be the 3 main suspects, really, for a penalty. Do we know who takes penalty for Man City and Real? Or for Real Madrid, it's Benzema, but he has been missing some recently, actually. As for Man City, it's literally those 3 players. And I think Mahrez would be number 1. I think he's the best one. KDB or Salah? I think I'd go for Salah if I had to pick one. Mahrez or Mane? Mane. Konate or Robertson? Robertson. Salah or Mane? Yeah, I think I just said that. Got a few kind of similar questions. De Bruyne or Mahrez? De Bruyne. Mane or De Bruyne? I think if you have City coverage already in midfield, I'd go for Mane. Valverde, Robertson, Jesus or Trent, Rodrigo? Yeah, answer that question. Jesus or Diaz? Oof, I think Diaz. The problem is, I mean, at least you know Jesus starts. You just don't know that with Diaz. Limitless chip for today. Second leg or the final? Second leg. Who is first on City penalty? Yeah, we're getting a lot of these kind of questions. I think it's Mahrez. It's between him, Jesus, and Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, it depends who's on the pitch. Obviously, Jesus is starting now. That's why I'm including him in the conversation. But maybe you could argue he only took the penalty the other day because he was on a hat-trick. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to this kind of set of transfers. I think I'm going to lock this in fairly soon. It's between Jesus now and Vinicius Jr. for that final spot. So, let's see. I think we've still got the poll up and running. Yeah, Jesus is winning that quite comprehensively as well. So we're going to end that. Now this is the question everyone wants answered. And we talked about this plenty of times before. I made my feelings clear, but still very 50-50. Which player would you prefer for the captaincy? So who is the better captain, let's put. So KDB or Benzema. And I'll put a few other names as well, just to make it a bit more interesting. So maybe we'll put a City defender. Just put City defender there. And other names could include, yeah, Mahrez or City midfielder. Yeah, so we'll put Mahrez or Foden, yeah. You know, I don't think many people will captain a City defender, so we'll just go for something like this. So Mahrez, Foden. These should probably be the kind of top 4 picks, unless I'm missing someone out. You know what, we'll go for Jesus. Yeah, we'll diversify it a little bit. So these are the captaincy options. Be sure to vote. I think most of you will go for De Bruyne and Benzema. That should be very interesting as well. Militao or Alaba? I prefer Militao. Militao or Stones? I think I'd rather go for Stones. Yeah, I get what you mean, but I'd still go for Stones. KDB or Modric? Easily KDB. I have 8 eliminated players. One of them is Mendy. Should I just keep Ederson for both legs? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you wouldn't want to get rid of Ederson anyway when you've got other fires to put out. Stones or Konate? I think Konate if I had to pick one, but Stones is also pretty good. Jesus did very well versus Real last year, exactly, and that's why I'm very tempted to get him. Although different teams, obviously he was up against Varane, for example, back then. Silva or Foden? I think I'd go for Foden. Benzema, Vinicius, Junior, Diaz, Mahrez, KDB, Danjuma, Modric, Laporte, Militao, Konate, Ederson. Yeah, solid team. I don't really have any problems with it. Stones or Diaz? Stones. Salo, Modric, KDB, which should be the last midfielder? If I had to pick one of those three, it'd be Salah still. So Salah's not the best option for the captaincy. Luca, I think I answered your question earlier in terms of the captaincy when you asked, should I captain this player or this one? Just to make it clear, you can captain players on different days. So on the Tuesday, obviously City play Madrid, you can captain someone from either team. So Benzema, Kevin De Bruyne, whoever you want. If they blank or don't do that well, during the substitution window, which is after this game finishes, before the next round of games starts, so tomorrow, Liverpool versus Villarreal, you can then switch to captaincy. The same goes for your substitutions, and that's why I always make a point to put those on your bench that are playing on the Wednesday, not on the Tuesday, and captain a Tuesday player first, and then you can switch it. So hopefully you got that. I'm not saying Salah's not the best captaincy option because I personally think he's probably still top 3, if not the very best. Trent or Robertson? I think Trent is better in UCL Fantasy because of ball recovery, so I would go for him. Mane or Modric for squad depth? I'd still go for Mane if you can still get him and it doesn't jeopardise the rest of your squad too much. Alisson over Ederson? Yes, I think he's more likely to keep a clean sheet. Van Dyke or Konate? I think I'd rather go for Konate, but Van Dyke is just more nailed. Foyth and Mane or Robertson and Modric? Easily I'd go for Robertson and Modric, mate. But both of them look good. Should I play without a bench or take the 12-point hit? No, do not take a 12-point hit, mate. I try to reduce it to -4, maximum -8. I don't think it's worth it. Why am I picking Stones over Diaz? Just because in terms of ball recoveries, I mean, Diaz is good, but I think Stones is even better. So look at these points, since game week, which match day is this? Match day 7. So since the knockout stages have begun, consistent returns. Before that, yeah, fair enough, very poor. City weren't keeping any clean sheets. Let's compare it to Diaz, for example. So not sure exactly where he is in the pecking order, but yeah, he hasn't played too much. He's been injured a lot of the time. So yeah, I mean, look, compare this, for example. So 6 points, kept a clean sheet against Sporting, while Stones got, 7 or 8 points or something like that. And then here again, 9 balls recovered, to be fair, that's really good. But then, I don't know. I think in terms of ball recoveries, you could argue that it's very similar. It's very, very close. But I think I'd just about go for John Stones. He's also playing as a right back, and I think he's going to have a very good chance of getting even more ball recoveries that way. And he's also cheaper than Ruben Diaz. I just don't think Diaz is worth that extra money personally. But, let me know if you disagree. Konate or Robertson? I'd go for Robertson if you can. I've been with Danjuma, but I've got money and the transfer to go to Foden. Yeah, I think Foden is the better option than him. So if you've got a spare free transfer, then I would do Danjuma to fill Foden. But if anyone does something for Villarreal, I think it will be Danjuma. So there's always a chance he does something. Diaz or Jesus? I think I would go for Diaz. Kroos or Modric? Easily Modric for me. Captain for tomorrow, Salah. I have Salah, KDB, Modric. Yeah, answered this question already, mate. Should I use my wildcard? So you've got only 2 eliminated and Cancelo. Honestly, Victor, you don't need to. So you can just use your free transfers and then wildcard in the final, matchday 13. Militao or Stones? Yeah, Stones still for me. Jesus or Mahrez? I'd actually rather go for Mahrez if I had to pick one. Jesus and Modric or Vinicius and Foden? I think it's both really good, to be honest. I think Jesus and Modric is my preference this round. So let's actually see the captaincy poll. 42% of you have gone for KDB. Look how close it is between him and Benzema. That is incredible. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. It's pretty much 51-49 in favour of KDB in my own view. 12% going for Mahrez, 6% with Jesus, and probably some of you going for something else, Modric or Rodrigo or Vinicius Junior, although that's not going to be too common. -4 for Cancelo. No, I wouldn't do that. Alaba or Militao, mate. Up to you what you do. Vinicius or Jesus? I prefer Jesus for this round. Long term, yes, I agree. Vinicius might be the more nailed and the better pick. I just don't know if Jesus will play the second game. But what if Jesus puts in a great performance today? He gets you the points. He'll probably start in the second game as well. Poll is, exactly. Very, very close. Is it essential to own a VRL player? No, not really, actually. You always have to just back your gut. I like to diversify the team and have a balance between each one. But I really back Liverpool to go through. And I think 1 or 2 VRL players is fine. But I wouldn't go for 3 or 4 just for the sake of balancing everything. Good luck to you as well, Victor. I go for Delap, no third strike on the bench, and the money for Salo, KDB, Mane, Mahrez, Modric. What do you think? That's fine. You know, as long as the rest of your squad is good, Zed or Z, that's completely fine for me, mate. I'm 5 players down plus Cancelo. Would it be worth to use the wildcard? Yes, it would be worth it. But you can always keep Cancelo and make your 5 free transfers anyway. But obviously the wildcard gives you that extra luxury. You can always bring Cancelo back in Matchday 12. So yes, I'd either use it in Matchday 11 or 13, but not in Matchday 12. I don't think it's worth it. Team with free transfer would be good enough for any round, but when do I wildcard? Yeah, like I just said to Henry, it'd be Matchday 11 or 13. Militao for Thiago Silva, -4 points. No, I don't think so. Mahrez captaincy being slept on. Yeah, no, I really like Mahrez. I brought him in Matchday 7. He was my captain that Matchday. I was very happy with him. Can Cancelo play the second leg? Yes. It's only 1 game that he's suspended for. Accumulation of yellow cards. So he'll be back for the Bernabeu. Should I take a -4 or 2 to get 2 playing goalkeepers? No, I wouldn't take a -4 for a goalkeeper, even if they're as good as Edison or Alisson. Welcome, Santiago. Came in here to ask if I was crazy going for Jesus over Vinicius. No, I don't think so. And I'll be honest, I'm not completely settled on it yet. That's the only doubt I have. But yeah, I think Jesus, I would back him to outscore Vinicius in the first leg at least. My problem with Jesus is that I'm not sure if he'll start the second one. But of course, sometimes you have to go for these kind of shorter term games. We've only got 3 match days left after all. Carvajal's a cheaper option than Militao. He's not bad, but I prefer Militao. Stones or Militao? Stones. I have 7 eliminated players. Should I take 2 hits and complete the full squad? No. I would just take 1 hit max, or if not, just leave it and have 13 players. That's fine. Took a -12 because I had 10 players out and no wildcard. Fair enough. I mean, I don't think you needed to, like, for example, you had 10 players out. I mean, that's crazy to be fair. So you only had 5 players left. Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean, I probably would have maybe gone down to -8 or -4, but everyone's different and maybe it will pay off for you anyway. Mane or Mahrez? Mane, mate. I think you asked this question already a lot of times, Henry. I can't lie. Mejor usar Limitless esta fecha o lo siguiente. Para mí el siguiente. Y la razón por la cual que digo eso es porque si vos usas el Limitless ahora, yendo a la vuelta, vas a tener 3 transferencias para resolver tus problemas. Y eso va a ser bastante problemático porque es mejor usar las 5 transferencias ahora y después puedes usar el Limitless en Matchday o la jornada 12. Para mí eso es mejor que usar el Limitless ahora y tener más problemas yendo en la vuelta. Es lo que creo yo. Creo que Vinicius lo hará mejor hoy contra Stones que de Jesús contra la defensa de Real. Para mí la defensa de City es mucho mejor que Real Madrid, pero entiendo tu pensamiento. Para mí Stones no es tan malo. Sí, no es un lateral derecho natural, pero está haciendo un buen trabajo. Cuando Pep lo pone ahí, Stones no hace un mal trabajo para mí. Lo ideal es tener Walker y Cancelo como los laterales, pero para mí todavía Stones va a hacer un buen trabajo en contra de Vinicius Jr. Vamos a ver lo que pasa. Puede ser que vos tengas razón, pero es lo que creo yo también. Creo que la defensa de City es mejor que de Real Madrid. Robertson and Mane or Konate and KDB, I would go for... I mean, they're both exceptional duos, to be honest. I'd go for Robertson and Mane, but yeah, I'd love to have KDB and Konate as well. Is it worth a -8 for Militao and Stones instead of Cancelo or Lucas Hernandez, or should I just get 1? I would just get 1, Mohamed, because either way you're getting Cancelo back in. So -4, and I would go for Stones. Militao, Alaba, Militao. KDB, Militao or Stones, Modric, both really good, but I would go for KDB and Militao. Fabinho or Thiago? Fabinho. Should I spend my 5th transfer to get Cancelo out or get Alisson for Svilar? I would rather get Alisson for Svilar because you're going to have Cancelo back for the next round anyway. No, Patrick, it's not essential to have a VRL player. I don't think you need any of them, to be honest, especially if you back Liverpool to go through, which is what I do. Konate or Robertson? I would rather go for Robertson. Mane or KDB? Already have Mahrez. Mane then. Yeah, I'd go for Mane. Thank you, Sheena. Rodri or Fabinho or Valverde? Fabinho. Laporte or Stones? I'd go for Laporte. Pep trolling us again. Stones and Walker not in training. Now he's in the starting 11. Well, apparently they were in training after the journalist left, basically. So he didn't want to give anything away and give Real Madrid a false sense of security. KDB captain because of the absence of Casemiro. To be honest, even with Casemiro, I would really back KDB. And it's not like, in my opinion, Casemiro's been great over the last year or two. So yes, I mean, it's very close between him and Benzema. As you can see in the poll, I think I would go for KDB though. -4 for Nacho to Alaba or Militao. I'd rather go for Militao, but there's not much in it to separate them. I have 11 players playing. I think Alaba could be subbed off after 60 minutes plus easy clean sheet points maybe. I mean, who's to say that City don't score before that period anyway? I get your thought process, but what if Alaba's taken off around 57 minutes or something? You never know in football, basically, but I would rather go for Militao. Will you swap your captaincy? Well, my captain would be De Bruyne. I can't change the captaincy based on what you see on screen because I haven't made the transfers yet, so De Bruyne isn't one of my players at this moment in time, but I think De Bruyne would be my captain. How people got in this far without knowing the basics? Look, obviously, some people play it casually and sometimes it goes over your head. I mean, I try to make it a very consistent point in all my videos and streams, and I know it's very frustrating or maybe mundane for some people who know it already, but it's very important for those that haven't, or aren't aware of it to be aware because, these are crucial aspects of the game. Yeah, no problem, Henry, no problem. Stones, Militao, Canati or Robertson? Robertson is my preference of the lot, but they're all good. Me refería en velocidad. Sí, no, sí, tenés razón. Y Stones no es lento, pero tampoco es muy veloz, como decís vos, pero sí. Sí, bueno, sí, creo que estamos en la misma página. Sí, creo que sabes lo que estás diciendo, basically. Best wildcard, I made a video on it, mate, so nothing would have changed really from that because Stones is available. Dylan, keep Cancelo, don't add Stones, take out Danjuma for Foden. That's not a bad shout as well, but I do think I'm going very overboard. If I go for Foden, I'd be more tempted to get Gabriel Jesus. The thing is, though, I will get Cancelo in anyway for the next round, so I don't really mind too much. I get what you mean, it's a very good suggestion you make, but I think I'd still get rid of Cancelo and bring him back. W I get for 8.5 million, says Leo. W, I'm guessing you're talking about Gabriel Jesus or something like that. Modric or KDB? Easily KDB. Do you think Jota will play? I think it'll be Mane, Diaz and Salah. I think that's the best Liverpool front three right now. KDB or keep Danjuma? KDB. KDB or Mane? Depends on your team. So if you already have Liverpool, or should I say, if you already have City attackers, then I would go for Mane, basically. Which midfielder for 8.5 million? Not much to choose from compared to above, but I would probably go for someone like Foden. Yeah. Or Modric, actually. Let me check Modric's price. He's 8.4. Yeah, Foden or Modric. Foden or Modric. Yeah, if I had to pick one, it would be Modric long term, to be honest. Will transfers carry over? No, it won't. Jesus scores in 2 minutes. Wow, you're very confident, and you seem. I think you hate Real Madrid, probably because they're taking Rudiger off you, and also because of what happened in the last round. And to be honest, I'm just going to be neutral. Foden or Danjuma? I think Foden right now. Yes. He's about to go for Vinicius over Jesus. Not really, mate. And you've already got max City players, so you've got no other option, basically. Thank you very much to Kat, as always, and that's a very generous donation. Thank you very much, mate. What suspense are you offering us if you make your transfers way before the deadline? Thanks for everything this season. What suspense are you offering us? Yeah, fair enough. I mean, to be honest, it's no suspense in my case. It's actually literally me just kind of thinking it in my head because as much as I prefer Jesus for the first leg, I'm not sure if he starts the second, whilst with Vinicius, I don't really have that doubt. So sometimes I play these 50-50 scenarios all the way until the deadline, and the same goes for FPL, basically. But yeah, it's nothing to do with suspense, even in terms of throwing off people who copy my team, because it's going to be inevitable. What am I going to do? Hide my transfers? I don't know. I could do that, to be fair, but yeah, look, it's as much as I'd love to say suspense and for the drama, it honestly isn't. But thank you very much, Kat. Militao, Mane or KDB Canate? It would be KDB and Canate for sure. Yeah, Canate over Militao. Thank you, 2000th man. Can we forward one free transfer? No transfers carry over in the knockout stages. It only happens in the group stages, mate. Couture, Edison. I'd go for Edison. Is Canate going to play? Yes, I believe so, but I might be wrong. De Bruyne and Ramos or Foden and Jesus? I think I would go for Foden and Jesus, but would I get rid of De Bruyne for a -4? No. Can we trust Jesus? Can you trust many of the forwards, though? I mean, Benzema's the only one I really trust, if I'm being honest. The others are very inconsistent UCL fantasy-wise, but yeah. Dylan, are you Spanish? No, I'm not Spanish. KDB or Mahrez? KDB, yes. Who would be your captain? Probably KDB. Why not Mane? Because I can't get him. I mean, you can only get 6 players from one club. That's basically it. Otherwise, Mane would be in my team. Probably, yeah. Worth to take Cancelo out? Yes, it is worth it. Yes, I think it is. Last game week in UCL, you got the transfers done with less than a minute to go. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that again. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it there. But that's literally because I was kind of playing it in my mind. Gabriel or Benzema? Benzema still for me. Si Bernardo Silva es una buena opción? Oh no, you said it in English, did you? Either way, yes. I think he's alright, but there's better options. I think Foden, Modric will be my preference. Yeah, I'm Ilias. I answered your question multiple times already. I don't know what else I can do, really. Is it worth taking a -4 to bring in Mahrez to Fabinho? No, I don't think you need to do that. I think Fabinho will constantly get you those 5 pointers. So, no, not for me. Should I go for 2 City defenders or get at least 1 Real Madrid defender? Great question. I think I'd still go for City personally, but it's not a bad thing to kind of diversify your defence a little bit more. Keep Danjuma or bring in KDB. I think I already answered this already, Christian. I would go for KDB. Hopefully you got that. How many transfers do I have after I used the wildcard today? As many as you would have if you didn't play the wildcard, which is free heading into the second leg of the semi-finals. Why not Benzema for captain? I mean, look, it's just because City are at home. I think City are a better team, and City have a decent defence. You know, Zinchenko is the one I'm worried about, actually. So I think Rodrigo could cause him problems. Zinchenko isn't really that great in my opinion, so he is the weak link for City, but the rest look pretty solid for me, even Stones at right back. So that's kind of my thought process there. No Casemiro in the midfield, and to be fair, I just don't like Real Madrid's defence anyway, even with the Brazilian. So yeah, and look, Benzema's leading the poll now. Mane over Salah maybe? No, not for me still. I think Salah's still the better player and the better option. You don't think he'll score? Not necessarily. I think Madrid will probably score and it will be Benzema, but I think KDB has a really good chance of getting a return, even better than Benzema potentially. Irrespective of price, Foden or Mahrez? Mahrez, mate, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, it's just my opinion. I just think, from what we've seen in the Champions League this season, Mahrez has been better, and I would go for him. ¿Cómo cambio la formación? Como dije a, creo que un usuario que se llama Instagram, pero... todo lo que tienes que hacer es hacer una sustitución. Así que, por ejemplo, si tenés 3 defensores ya, lo que puedes hacer para poner otro defensor es poner a Robertson en tu equipo. Y acá subbing, o sí, sustituir, lo pones aquí y sacas a Sané. Y así cambias la formación. Entonces, cambiaste de un 3-4-3 a un 4-3-3. Ojalá que tengas la respuesta que necesitas. Y si tienes otra duda, avísame. Can we work with 1 6 million goalkeeper? For sure. I don't think you even need to, and I'm still a bit apprehensive about having both heading into the final, but I think it is ideal, obviously, to have Alisson and Ederson in the semi-finals. Why not Diaz? Why not Diaz? Because I just prefer Stones, really. I mean, from what I've seen in the UCL Fantasy this season, I think he's shown a bit more consistency. Obviously, Diaz has been injured for a lot of it, and I just think Stones will get as many, if not more, ball recoveries. I might be wrong, by the way. You know, if you go for Diaz and he does better for you, you know, that's good, and you probably would prefer having fewer people, you know, going on what you have, if that's indeed the way you do go. But I just prefer Stones. Stones versus Konate. I think Konate is the better pick out of the two, Santiago. Now, if you already have Trent, Robertson and Alisson and you don't have that many City coverage, then I would go for Stones. But otherwise, I think Konate is probably the better one. But then you could flip it and say, well, what if Konate doesn't play tomorrow? Now, I think he will. But yeah, there's always kind of a counter-argument there. Jesus is the best for me. Fair enough, yeah. I'm seeing quite a few Jesus shouts at the moment. And remember, he really destroyed Real Madrid the last time he played them. I think I'm going to go for something like this, by the way, and just to make it clear, if I could, I would go for Sadio Mane, but unfortunately it would mean getting rid of someone like Fabinho or Diaz or Alisson or someone else from my Liverpool team. I've already got Max in there, and as much as I like Vinicius Jr. as an option, he's been very consistent. I back Gabriel Jesus to outscore him, so I think I'm going to go for him in the end. There's going to be doubts heading into the second leg, so this might be a bad move long term, because heading into, you know, match day 12, I might be like, well, what if Jesus starts and I keep him, then he doesn't start in the end, and I've got less squad depth that way. There's so many things you have to think about in UCL Fantasy, basically. But the bottom line is, I think Gabriel Jesus will outscore Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. and all the other forwards, pretty much, except for maybe Diaz or Jota and Benzema this week. And therefore, I think I would go for him up front. De Bruyne or Mane is an interesting one. Once again, I've already got 6 Liverpool players, and getting Alisson really gives me the best chance of a clean sheet from my goalkeepers and a guaranteed 6 points almost. Now, you never know. Villarreal can still score and really might end up saving a penalty. You never know in football. But I think this is the best chance of assembling the best squad for the semi-finals in UCL Fantasy. At least for Matchday 11, should I say. Matchday 12 will be a bit different. John Stones and Militao, I cover Real Madrid defensively a little bit. And I also get another City defender who gets a lot of ball recoveries, or at least quite a few. I wouldn't say a lot. Raul Albiol is also a good option, by the way, if you're looking for a Villarreal defender. Estupinian is another. He gets quite a few decent returns as well. He's someone I haven't really mentioned, and he's consistently good for Ecuador as well. So, look, there's a lot of options to discuss, even now with only 4 teams left, but I think I will go for something like this. Diaz is someone we can't forget, of course, but I think I would go for John Stones in the end. Trent or Robertson, I think Trent is better in UCL Fantasy. ¿A quién pondrías? ¿Amares, Mané o Fabinho? Para mí, Oliver, Mané es el mejor de los tres. Foden or Danjuma? Foden. Hi Dylan, how many transfers do we get going into the finals? I believe it's 5. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's 5. Captain KDB or Mahrez or Edison? I'd go for KDB. Alaba over Militao? For me, it would be Villarreal. It would be Militao. I'm seeing a few kind of, let's say, hidden comments, so I have to deal with them at some point. Trent or Van Dyke? Trent, yes. Why KDB? I mean, he's in great form. He's City's best player. I mean, I think it's quite a self-explanatory one, really. Is it the right time to use the Limitless? I personally don't think so. I think it's best to use it in Matchday 12 because, once again, I don't want to keep harking back to it, but you have 5 free transfers now. You only get 3 heading into Matchday 12. If you Limitless now, you only have 3 transfers to deal with the problems you already had from the quarterfinals heading into Matchday 12 and 13. So, honestly, I think it's best to use it in Matchday 12. Make your transfers right now, and I think it's best that way. KDB or Foden? KDB. Hi Dylan, thoughts on my transfers? Lewandowski, Gonzalo Ramos, Sane, Rudiger, Neuer to Jesus, Diaz, Mane, Stones, Alisson. Really good transfers. I have no problems with them. I like the players you're bringing in, especially Mane and Jesus. I like that punt. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, mate. Alisson or Edison? I think Alisson's more likely to keep a clean sheet. Van Dijk, Jesus or Konate, Vinicius? It would be Van Dijk and Jesus, Parza. Do you think Jesus Captain makes sense? Yes, and if he flails, I'm kind of in 2 minds of saying flops and fails. If he doesn't do the business for you, you can captain Salo or Mane tomorrow, so honestly, it doesn't really matter. Should I keep Mahrez or transfer KDB? If it's for a free transfer, then yes, I would do that transfer if that's the only way you can get him in. Otherwise, I'd try to find another way of keeping Mahrez and also adding KDB to your ranks. Should I take a hit to get Mane and for Sane? I think it's worth it, to be honest, Leo. I'd do it. It's worth the risk. How many Villarreal players? You don't really need any, but I'd say 1 is fine. 2 is also fine. I don't think there's actually a preference for me. I'd probably go for 1, maybe. That's what I'm doing at the moment. ¿Es mejor tener 2 arqueros, 4 defensores o un arquero y 5 defensores? Una buena pregunta. Para mí es mejor tener 2 arqueros porque con 4 defensores también tenés los mediocampistas y los atacantes que también puede sumar puntos, pero con los arqueros, sí, si tenés 1, no sé si la probabilidad de un arco en 0 es tan alto. Hasta con un equipo como Real Madrid o como Man City, es muy probable que los 2 equipos van a hacer un gol. Y hasta Alisson, que todos piensan que Liverpool van a obtener un arco en 0 en contra Villarreal, pero nunca hay una certeza que eso va a pasar. Así que para mí es mejor tener 2 arqueros en este momento, en las semifinales. Antes y también yendo a la final, para mí es mejor tener 1, pero en este momento para mí es mejor tener 2 arqueros o 2 porteros. KDB or Mahrez? I would go for KDB. Modric or Foden? I would go for Foden for this set of matches. Why not Zinchenko or Diaz over Militao? I've already got a lot of City defenders, and honestly, yes, Diaz could be one to go for, maybe, but Zinchenko I don't really like, and long term he's not going to be in that team when Cancelo comes back. En las alineaciones posibles dice que Jota posiblemente sea titular. Sí, no vi eso, pero es una posibilidad. Nunca sabe. Y Liverpool tiene 5 delanteros de altísimo nivel. Para mí va a ser Mané, Díaz, y Salah, pero nunca se sabe. Y Klopp tiene un dolor de cabeza, pero uno que bueno tener. Diaz in, look, he's a great option, like I said before, but I don't think we necessarily need him. Salah, Mahrez, KDB, and Mane or Silva. Mane, easily. -4 worth it to take out Walker. For who though, Zane? It depends. But if you have 13 players already, I'd say no, don't do it. But if you're struggling to get 11 or 12, then definitely I would. Yeah. Foden or Modric, I already answered that question, mate. Why don't you pick Courtois? Very simple answer, actually, because I've already got Edison. And would I get rid of Edison for Courtois? No, I don't think it's worth a transfer. And I think City have a better chance of a clean sheet this time around. And would I get in Courtois for Villar? No, because I've got then 2 keepers that are worth over 12 million in total. And I can't make a substitution if one of them doesn't keep a clean sheet. So I just don't think it makes any sense, really. KDB or Salah or Mane? Salah. Thank you. Spanish is clean. I mean, I speak it at home. My English is way better, though. And yeah, I don't overthink in English, I guess. I already answered the question, nobody, so I'm not sure what else I can do. You can keep Mahrez, but ultimately, if it's a question of Mahrez or KDB, I would get KDB. It's as simple as that. Me asusté cuando empezaste a hablar en español. No sé por qué estás asustado, pero bueno. Como dije en inglés, mi inglés es mucho superior, muchísimo mejor, pero bueno, no es tan malo mi castellano, creo. Pick 2 out of KDB, Mahrez and Jesus. KDB and Jesus. Just because of your structure, you can get Modric instead of Mahrez in that case, but Mahrez is a great option and he's going under the radar. Thank you, Amir. KDB or Mane? I think Mane for this round, but if you have no other City coverage in the attack or in the midfield, then I would go for KDB. Benzema or KDB as captain? I mean, I'm probably going for KDB, but both are great options. Spanish lessons during the off-season? I mean, I'm not sure I'm the best guy to give a Spanish lesson, to be honest. Like, my Spanish is alright. It's not great. Jesus or KDB? Can only afford one. KDB, yeah. Mane or KDB? Literally just answered that question, mate. Foden, Silva or Danjuma? De esos tres, prefiero Foden. Foden. Vinicius, Jota or Diaz? Diaz out of those 3. Dylan, thoughts on my transfers? Lewandowski, Gundogan, Fabinho, Cancelo, Sane and Müller to Jesus. Mahrez, Foden, Robertson, Mane and Diaz for a -4 worth it? Honestly, yes, I think it's worth it. There's always going to be a doubt about Diaz or Jota, but I think that's really good. Militao, Alaba? Once again, I go for Militao. In your opinion, who would you actually pick from the poll? I'd actually go for KDB probably, but it's very close, Duarte. I have Limitless left. When is the perfect match day to use it? In match day 12, Zane. Sinchenko and Vinicius or Stones and Jesus? I would go for Stones and Jesus. Your Spanish is legit. Congrats. Thank you, Jose. Once again, not the greatest, but it's at least the language I know. I can speak, and I'm not a complete noob, I'd say. I got Benzema, otherwise only City and Liverpool players. Do I need more squad depth? But if you really back City and Liverpool to go to the final, then that's understandable. I would maybe go for another Madrid player or 2, but you don't need it, mate. That's basically it. Should I go for Rulli and Carson for KDB, Mane, Salah, Diaz, Benzema and Jesus? Yes, but you're probably not going to get any clean sheets there from Rulli. So yeah, that's pretty much the kind of the downside to getting all those great players in the midfield and attack. How is Ferland Mendy as an option to cover Madrid defence? I think he's decent. To be fair, he's probably the second one I'd look at from Madrid. There's Alaba as well, but I think those are the top 3 that I just mentioned there. Probably Carvajal 4th. He's decent. Not that many ball recoveries, but you never know. From time to time, he can get that one game where he gets points from that way. So, yeah, he's not the worst option. Is it worth it? It depends on what for. If you're getting someone like Mane or KDB for a hit, then yes, definitely, I think it is. But it just depends on what you're saying. I got Benzema and Diaz. Who would be my last forward? Either Vinicius Junior or Jesus. And right now, I'm preferring Gabriel Jesus. Rulli and KDB or Alisson and Mahrez? I would rather go for... If you've already got Edison, for example, then I would go for Rulli and KDB. Mane or Salah? I'd go for Salah. KDB or Mane? I would go for... If I had to pick one, I'm just going to go for KDB then. Vinicius or Rodrigo? Vinicius, yeah. Van Dyke or Robertson? Robertson. When should I use my wildcard? Either now or in matchday 13, Ahmed. Why going Militao versus Alaba? I mean, this is something that I was asked before as well. It's literally just because I prefer him for ball recoveries. I don't think Alaba's as good in that regard. It's up to you who you go for. You know, it's literally your call. It's just my opinion there. Diaz played less minutes than Stones in UCL and has more ball recoveries. What do you think? No, that's a good point. And I actually, you know, I was looking at it when I was analysing the two and their history throughout the UCL Fantasy in this very stream. That's a good point. And maybe he is the one to go for over Stones. I mean, I'm going to check ownerships as well. I do like having kind of differentials in there. So Stones is 3% owned. I think Diaz will probably be over 10% or something. Maybe I'm wrong about that. He could be quite low as well. So where is Ruben Diaz? 13%, yeah. So the thing is, when I look at Diaz compared to Stones, we only have one match day where we can really compare them. So in match day 7, where they both played, Diaz got 6 points and I think Stones got 7. Yeah, and he's consistently gotten 7 points and even 10 in the last match day. What did he get? A man of the match reward? Yeah, he did. So it's quite tough. It's quite tough between the two. And I think most people would go for Diaz. And I am still open to the idea, to be fair. So maybe I should consider him more. Militao or Konate? Definitely Konate for me. Is it better to use Wildcard or Limitless? Wildcard this week, definitely. Should I take a -4 for Cancelo? I don't think you need to. Are you going to do F1 content? I probably will. I'm not sure exactly when because, as you can see, it's so hectic right now with UCL Fantasy and also FPL. But there's 2 weeks before Miami. I'll try to get a team selection video out for that as well, and then do a deadline stream. And then once football is over, I can definitely have more time to, you know, do other bits of content for F1 Fantasy. Although there's no double game weeks and stuff like that, as there is an FPL, so it's going to be a bit different. Matip or Konate? Konate. I think he's going to play in the Champions League. Vinicius or Jesus? I'm personally going for Jesus. Up to you what you go for. Captain Benzema or Jesus? Really tough, actually. I'm very tempted by the Gabriel Jesus captaincy as a differential, but Benzema is just the more reliable player. So, yeah, I guess I'd go for Benzema, but very close. Valverde to score and be the man of the match? Wow, I'd be surprised if that happens, but you never know. That's the beauty of football. Yeah, made the transfers. That's good. I would recommend doing them very soon. We will have ball recoveries in such a game versus City. I mean, why would there not be ball recoveries? That can happen in any game, you know. Even Villarreal players like Estupiñán or Albiol, they could get ball recoveries against Liverpool, in my opinion. Are we riding if Jota starts over Diaz? Writing? Not really. It can happen. You know, Liverpool have 5 really good forwards and they can play any one of them and probably still win the game. Look, I wouldn't even be surprised if Firmino starts and Liverpool play not even like a bad front three, but like they play a Jota and a Firmino and a Salah and they still win the game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Gabriel Jesus or Jota? Gabriel Jesus. ¿Vale la pena Van Dyke por -4? Depende de qué jugador sacaste de tu equipo para obtener a Van Dyke, pero creo que sí, porque puede obtener un arco en 0 y también ball recoveries, así que sí, creo que puede valer un -4, pero también depende de qué jugador sacas. Si es un Joao Cancelo para Van Dijk, para mí no lo haría. Diaz o Militao? Diaz. Out of those two. Cancelo on a wildcard? No, you might as well just get rid of him and you can always bring him back in matchday 12. Look, you can pick Mane over Salah. Why can I not pick Mane and Salah? I'm guessing, wait, is it blacked out? If it's blacked out, it's because you have too many Liverpool players already. You can't have more than 6, basically, in this stage of the competition. You can pick both of them, definitely. There's no doubt about it, and it's up to you. And I think that's the best duo in the midfield this week. Vinicius or Modric? I think Modric long-term. How would you rate the City attacking options in terms of priority? KDB first. It's really close. I mean, overall, long-term, Morris is the UCL Fantasy, you know, kind of main guy. So it'd be KDB first, Morris second. I guess I'd go Jesus third, but I'm not sure if he's going to be the best long-term, and fourth Foden. That is kind of the way I'd rank it. I'm not sure if I'd really include the others that much. Why I see on my Game Week 10 Laporte only 7 points and you see 10. I'm not sure why that would be. No, we were talking about Stones, sorry. We were talking about Stones, not Laporte. Stones got 10, Laporte got 7. So yeah, that's what I was referring to. I didn't go on Laporte's points there. Who are you going to captain? Like I already said, I'm probably captaining KDB. Who's the better combo, Ederson, Militao or Courtois, Stones? For me, Ederson and Militao. Bobby is out, says Badge Makoto. Diferencial para capitán, Gabriel Jesus para mí sería muy bueno. Sí, para mí ¿Sabes? Es muy atractivo esa opción. ¿De dónde eres? Bueno, soy de Londres, pero mi familia viene de Argentina. Who's your captain? Once again, yeah, I'm not going to answer this question again because I think we made it clear. It'll probably be KDB. Resultado del partido de hoy. Para mí va a ganar City y creo que voy a mantener ese resultado, esa predicción que tenía de 2-1 para Manchester City. Puede ser 3-2, puede ser 3-1, 2-0, puede ser cualquier cosa. Pero para mí va a ganar Manchester City. Si no estuviera John Stones y sería Rúben Díaz como el lateral derecho y tenían a Ake, Laporte y también a Zinchenko, ahí tendría dudas, pero en este momento creo que voy por una victoria de Manchester City. Foden or Bernardo, can't afford KDB, I'd go for Foden, same. De Bruyne or Mane, I'd go for De Bruyne if I had to pick one. The captain's options are between KDB versus Benzema and Mahrez. Who is the best? I think it's between KDB and Benzema, and I just don't necessarily know if there is a best one out of the two. I think I'd go for KDB. Swap Cancelo for Trent and lose -4. I'm not sure if I would do that. I probably wouldn't. Good luck to you as well, Messi Monkey. What a name, by the way. Laporte or Konate. It just depends on who you have already or who you don't have, but I think Konate is better right now. Alisson and Militao or Edison and Robertson. I'd go for Edison and Robertson. Yeah, that's a good team. Sofiani. I'm not too sure about Thiago, but you could be onto something there. Hi Dylan, Modric and Jesus or Foden and Junior. I'd go for Modric and Jesus out of the two. Pass, I already answered your question, and there's probably a reason why your message is held for review. But yeah, once again, just hopefully you got it this time. I would go for Mane and I would go for KDB, if that's the question. Yeah. And if it's a duo, it would be Mane and Mahrez easily. There you go. Thank you, Gerardo. Cheers. KDB or Benzema Captain? Literally, we just talked about it. Benzema Captain will flourish. The guy's the best player on planet Earth right now. But you just never know. And Manchester City are a very good team. I don't think they're as weak as Chelsea were in the first leg or as PSG were in the second leg where they completely bottled it. So you just never know. I mean, there's no guarantee. You know, even when Messi and Ronaldo were the best players in the world, you know, they still could blank in a game. That's the way I see it. Hey Dylan, which is better, Foden and Militao or Modric and Stones? I would rather go for Modric and Stones, Mohamed, but they're both good. Militao, Stones or Diaz Albiol? I would go for Militao and Stones. Both are very good though. Mahrez or Mane? I would go for Mane, Ahmed. Yeah, and thank you very much as well. Good luck to you as well, Ruben. Konate, Matip, Stones, Diaz, help. From those lot, I would pick Konate. Yes, I think I'd go that. Okay, I'm going to make my transfers pretty soon now. Hopefully, I mean, it's going to happen probably, but hopefully no one's copying, and I would highly recommend no one to copy anyone, really, whether it's me or someone else in the chat or whoever. Trying to make your own decisions and make your own fortunes, basically, but I think I'm going to stick with Jesus. De Bruyne is going to come in. Alisson as my second goalkeeper. Eder Militao to cover Real Madrid. And then it's between Stones and Diaz. I think that is the kind of main doubt I have right now. And we're going to end this poll, by the way, because, yeah, we've had, 700 votes pretty much. That's crazy. And Benzema has just about won. 42% compared to KDB's 40%. We're going to end that. But yeah, that is the question that everyone wants answered. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single upload or stream. There's going to be F1 Fantasy content, FPL and UCL Fantasy. Obviously, if anything changes on the F1 Fantasy front, I'll let you guys know, but it's looking quite likely that it's going to go ahead within the next few weeks, and there's going to be content, including streams there as well, especially during the summer. And let me know if you want to see gaming content on this channel, because obviously we're going to have a football void with no World Cup in June or July, so that could also come apart. And some people were asking if there's going to be some gaming videos, so that could be a thing as well. And yeah, hopefully not too many rages, because yeah, gaming can bring out the worst in people. KDB, Konate or Mane, Stones? I would go for KDB, Konate. Capuo, Fabinho? I'd go for Fabinho. I'm going all-out City attack with KDB, Mahrez, Foden and Jesus, believing we'll reach the UCL final. Good luck, Sidindra. I mean, yeah, that's very, very big. And you never know, that could pay off for you. You're probably covering the most likely players to score as well. Alvarez to Foden for a hit gives me 12 players. Yeah, fair enough, Colin. And in that case, I think it's worth it. Konate, Matip, Stones, Diaz, only one of them. I already answered your question, Jan. I'd go for Konate. I think they're all good, though. Cancelo to Stones or non-playing goalkeeper to Edison? Already have Alisson or move both for a -4? I'd rather move your non-playing goalkeeper to Edison just to maximise your chances of a clean sheet from your goalkeepers. But if your goalkeeper's Courtois, do not get Ederson. It just doesn't make any sense to go for him as well, in my opinion. Yeah, Ederson or Courtois. Ederson, when is the right time to play wildcard? Either matchday 11 or 13. Diaz, Stones or Laporte? Laporte is my preference of the three for sure. Then I'm not too sure about the other two, personally. I'm going to put another poll out. I'm putting so many out. Which City defender do you prefer? And I personally think Laporte is the best of the lot. And obviously Cancelo, if he wasn't suspended. But yeah, Diaz or Stones? This is a very common question as well today that I wasn't expecting heading into the stream, but it makes complete sense, to be fair. So yeah, we're going to be wrapping up very soon in terms of the squad selection and the transfers. Yeah, very good Team Aranya. Trying to see if there's anything I don't really like. I'm not too sure about Valverde. I would rather go for Fabinho, for example, but that's still fine. And yeah, I can't really complain about the rest of your team. Your attacking three looks great. The rest of your midfield looks fantastic. And your defence is solid. And you've got Alisson in goal. So yeah, that looks good. Hey, Dylan, Mahrez or Mane? Once again, Alan, I'd go for Mane. Van Dijk or Konate? I'd go for Konate. Militao or Robertson? I'd go for Robertson. Jesus or Vinicius Jr.? I'd go for Jesus. Wait till 1 minute left. Maybe I will. Imagine that. Would you want Danjuma at Arsenal? I'm not too sure. I mean, he's a good player. He's done very well this season, but I want to see more from him because I'm not saying he's a one-season wonder, but there have been occasions where that's happened from certain players. So, look, he wouldn't be bad, I guess. What's your overall rank? It's, I think, around 800. I'll change the screen once I lock in my team and you'll see my team. Yeah, I'm not sure why someone's spamming Van Dijk. Are you a Van Dijk lover or something? But yeah. How do you have all 15 players? A bit of luck as well. Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes your team is going to look terrible. Sometimes it's going to look decent. But look, someone who has maybe fewer players than me available, they might do even better. It's all about the starting 11 at the end of the day. You can have a FIFA gaming stream, Dylan, during the summer. That is one of the games that brings out the worst in me. I'll be completely honest. But yeah, okay, I'll definitely take that into account, Sidindra. Thank you. Captain Benzema is final? No, it isn't. Which team is the most likely to get a clean sheet? For me, it's easily Liverpool. From the teams today, it's Man City. What do you think about Albiol? I think he's the best Villarreal defensive coverage or defensive option. I'm just not too sure if he's worth getting in though. Thank you, Carl. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and all the best to you as well. Alisson or Ederson? I'd rather go for Alisson right now. After playing a wild card, will my players remain the same? Yes, it will stick. The Limitless or the free hit in FPL is for 1 week. This will stick. Hope all is good, Dylan. Thank you, Patriotic Irish. Yes, it is. Hopefully it is for you as well. Thanks for the stream. Made some similar transfers. Should be an interesting few games. Yeah, good luck, mate. All the very best. Is Mane not fit? I'm not sure where you heard that. Why do I have less money to spend than you? It's because of the players we got in. So the players I got in have risen up in price more so than yours have. That's pretty much it. What do you think about Rodrigo of Real Madrid? I think he's a decent option. Quite underrated. Scored that crucial goal against Chelsea, but I still prefer Gabriel Jesus today. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It did sound rude, but I wasn't. It was just a little joke in terms of Van Dijk lover. Wish me luck for top 10. Wow, I mean, you've had a great season, mate. All the best of luck. You can definitely get to it. And even, who knows, first place is up for grabs as well. Robertson or Van Dijk? Robertson. With one transfer left, should I transfer Salo to Rulli or Cancelo to Militao? That's a pretty good question. I think I would go for... if you have... Oh, Jesus. God almighty. If you have no Real Madrid defensive coverage, I would go for Cancelo to Militao. Otherwise, it'd be Sevilla to Rulli. Thank you, Yasir. Hello, Dylan. Thoughts on Parejo? He's actually been quite a very solid option. I discussed him, I think, in a previous stream. And, you know, it's very surprising the season he's having in UCL Fantasy. He's a decent option, to be fair. Yeah. Diaz or Jesus, please answer. I'd go for Diaz, but just bear in mind he might not start. So that's, you know, you're running the risk there. Rodrigo against Zinchenko, yes. That's a good point, Girish. I think Rodrigo against Zinchenko, I'd be more worried about that because I think Stones is better than Zinchenko, even at right back. What do you think about Rodrigo? Yeah, I think I answered that already. Modric or Mahrez? I'd go for Mahrez right now. Why do you prefer Jesus over Junior? Why? Because I think City are at home. I think City are a better team than Real Madrid. City are better defensively, so I'd rather have a City attacker in that case. I've already got Benzema to cover Real Madrid attack and also Modric. So yeah, look, Vinicius is a great option. You can go for him. He's been more consistent than Jesus, but whenever Gabriel gets those chances and those minutes, he tends to do very well. Dylan, go with both Diaz and Stones over Militao, man. You don't need Militao. Rooting for a City clean sheet and a KDB goal. Yeah, maybe. I do like covering just in case I get it wrong, basically. And it happened last year between Chelsea and Man City. Yeah, really, the Argentinian goalkeeper, yeah. He's all right. I don't think he's great. But yeah, he's decent. He's having a good season. Yeah, Mahrez over Danjuma, mate. I already answered that question. I prefer Jesus over Vinicius for this match day, but they're both good. How many transfers next game week? 3. Laporte, Militao, Laporte. Should I use my wildcard this week? Yes, Mario. I wouldn't use it next week. Mahrez or De Bruyne? De Bruyne. I have Carvajal and he will feast against Zinchenko. Maybe. Jesus or Mahrez? Mahrez, long term. Capitán para hoy. Probablemente va a ser Kevin De Bruyne. Diaz or Militao or Stones? I think I would say Stones or Diaz. I'm not too sure about Militao out of the 3. Last time you missed Benzema, now you're making the same mistake by not picking Vinicius Jr. I mean, mate, you can't have everyone. I mean, I'm still in a good rank despite not having Benzema for quite a while. So, honestly, you just can't have everyone. That's pretty much the bottom line. And you have to back your gut. I might be making a good choice or I might be making a bad choice. In the end, you've got to back your gut. Best captain, Benzema, Jesus or KDB? KDB. KDB or Benzema for sure out of those lot. I wouldn't captain Vinicius, I think, although I could be wrong. Jesus or Mahrez? I would go for Mahrez, mate. Why wouldn't you use your wildcard next week? Because you could be wildcarding into a team, like, for example, you're loading up on a certain team, even City, and then you get knocked out, and then you have only 5 transfers to maybe rectify the damage potentially. Look, you can play the wildcard whenever you want, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to play in Matchday 12, but I just think it makes more sense to use it now. Yeah, thank you, Superstar. Thank you for reminding me. I'm just going to make my transfers very shortly, actually. So, yeah, I mean, very tough decisions, 50-50 calls, and they could go the wrong way. I'm quite confident about Alisson over Rulli. I think that makes sense. One Real Madrid defender makes sense as well, just in case Real Madrid keep that clean sheet, although it's quite unlikely. Going very big at the back with Man City could be the way to go as well. Jesus or Vinicius, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there as well. The thing is, I don't actually have any Man City midfielders. You know, before heading into this game, I actually had none. So I had Mahrez heading into Matchday 10, I think it was. I got rid of him. And there you go. Now I'm bringing in these Man City players. I'm kind of balancing it this way. So I've got 3 defensive coverage for City, 2 attackers. And for Madrid, I've got 1 defender and 2 attackers, really. So this looks pretty solid. I'm actually quite happy with this. I think I'm going to stick with my guns here. Back my own gut. You never know what's going to happen. As much as I think City will win the first leg, I still think Madrid could score. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go for something like this. Diaz or Stones? I mean, that's quite a tough question. I'm going to see what the poll is saying. 52% going for Stones. It's very close. I think it's very, very tight. Jota Jesus? I think I would go for Jesus. Get your transfers done? Yeah, 10 minutes to go. Yeah, I will do. I'm going for Jesus and KDB from City as that helps me get Mane in alongside Salo and Diaz. I can't go for Fabinho. No, that's fair enough. And I'd rather have Mane than Fabinho around you. I think that's the right thing to do. And yeah, that makes sense. I mean, look, there's always an explanation for the players you get in. I'm just saying, in terms of the players you have, the only one that stands out as I'm not too sure about is Valverde, but it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Mahrez or Jesus? Once again, I go for Mahrez long term. For this match day specifically, I have a good feeling about Jesus, and that's why I might bring him in. Militao or Stones? I think I'd rather go for Stones out of the 2. Yeah, okay. Ask Dravidan. I think you made your point clear. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's wait and see. I could be wrong. Let's wait and see. I'd rather make the decisions myself, though. Best midfield at any price? I think Kevin De Bruyne or Salah. Triple City mid, KDB, Mahrez and Bernardo with Benzema, Carvajal and Vinicius ready to feast tonight. You never know, though. You could have 6 players, you could have 8 in this game, and you could still get 0 points, basically. Or not 0, but you know what I mean. John Stone's injured. He's in the starting lineup, Oscar. He's in the starting 11. He just got that kind of flag from before. Captaincy, once again, I made that very clear. I'll probably just show it on screen now when I finalise my team. Who's on penalties for City? I'm pretty sure it's Mahrez, but if not, it will be Kevin De Bruyne or Jesus. Konaté or Militao, Konaté. Kevin or Benzema, yeah, same thing. Yeah, I'm not going to even repeat that again. Henderson, Cruz, Valverde. Not a big fan of any of them, but if I had to pick, probably Valverde. -4 hit for 12 players, yeah, I would do that if you have 11. Konaté or Van Dyke, both good. I'd go for Konaté. Will you captain De Bruyne? Yeah, probably. Time is running. Yeah, look, there's no rush, mate. There's no rush. I already know what I want to do pretty much in terms of when I assemble these transfers. The problem is the 50-50 calls. Stones versus Diaz, Vinicius versus Gabriel Jesus, or even Rodrigo, who probably deserves more credit. So there's a lot of things to consider. I think I'm just going to go for this though, and back my gut. Let's wait and see what happens. I would expect John Stones to continue starting, but you never know. And what if it's Laporte and Diaz in the future? I've got enough money to go for Diaz. So I'm going to check this ball recovery ratio again. So Stones has 31 ball recoveries in 600 minutes pretty much. And let's see Ruben Diaz. So 600 minutes. Diaz has 454 and he's got 32 balls recovered. So that's quite interesting there. Yeah. Stones has consistently got 7 points and above though. That's what I do like. But obviously Diaz could have done the same thing if he had played in all of those games. So very tough call there. Who knows? And Stones just came back from an injury, but the same thing can be said about Diaz. So I think that's the kind of main 50-50 I have in mind. I could go for both, as someone rightly said, and go really big at Man City defence. But I do like balancing out just a little bit at least. Just a little bit. I do back Madrid to score as well. Salo Mane, I'd go for Salo. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a good sign that we have pretty much the same transfers and team. I mean, look, there's not much to choose from right now compared to the quarters or the round of 16 or even beforehand where we had so many teams. Yeah, it's not about ball recoveries because City will control the game anyway. Yeah, but even, let's say, for example, Real Madrid win the ball high up and then, there's going to be quick turnovers of possession for both sides. Man City will have to recover the ball at times. It's not like they're going to dominate, entire game. There will be periods where Madrid have more possession, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm just going to lock in these transfers and then that will kind of answer most of the questions that are coming in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for something like this. I'm not too sure about Stones or Diaz. That's the main problem I have. The rest I'm actually quite confident about. Even if it doesn't go according to plan, I can still, say, you know what, it still looks pretty good. Mane is the main player I don't have that I think could really damage me because I think he's a great option against Villarreal. So if you can get to Mane, I would highly recommend it. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I just wouldn't be able to. And I think these transfers make sense. So ultimately, I think I'm going to do this. Stones or Diaz is it's kind of killing me, to be honest. It's kind of a headache. 51% now for Diaz in the poll. Quite interesting. Yeah, 5 minutes left, or 6 pretty much. You don't need Militao. Waste of roster spot. I don't need him. But, what if Real Madrid keep a clean sheet? You never know. That's literally it. You never know. That's pretty much it. So, yeah. It's kind of a game of percentages. You could say the same thing about Villarreal, but I'm really confident about Liverpool scoring tomorrow. Diaz or Jesus, I think I'd go for Diaz out of the two. Mahrez or Mane. Luis Diaz or Rodrigo, I'd go for Diaz. Go for Diaz. Stones will start one. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the main problem I have. I think that is a good point. And I mentioned it earlier. Stones could do really well today, but then will he play in the second leg or in the final should City reach it? I think I will maybe go for Diaz in the end. Zinchenko to bring you tears. I'm not sure about that, mate. Yeah, I will be locking in. No worries. Don't worry about me. And I think everyone, just lock in your teams now. Make sure you get everything done. I think I'm going to go for Diaz instead of Stones. And watch Stones now score suddenly, and that would be crazy. Stones has done some very good things for me last season in FPL. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go for Diaz. Let's wait and see what happens there. I'm sure someone out there is saying, just go for the C defenders. Go for, I don't know, Diaz and Stones. Captain Mahrez or Jesus? I'd go for Jesus actually from the two today. Alaba, yeah, he's decent, but I think I'd prefer Militao out of the two. KDB or Mane? I'd go for KDB if I had to pick one. Try not to spam the chat, please. Bernardo Silva or Foden? I prefer Foden. What else do we have? Yeah, Captain Mahrez or KDB? I'd go for KDB. Lock it in, dudes, and good luck. Yep, good luck to you as well, and good luck to everyone watching. I'm just going to be locking in now. I think I'm going to go for Diaz, just for the long-term thing. So even if Stones outscores him today, which is possible, it's definitely possible. I think I'll just go about it this way. So there we go. Either way, I will probably bring in Cancelo, either for Militao or for Diaz next week. Just to make that very clear, he will probably come in anyway. So it doesn't really matter, actually. And I could just go for Stones, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. I think I'll go for something like this. And there we go. Yeah, I think I'm just going to lock it in now. Mamma mia, mamma mia. Cancelo is definitely one I want to get in later on. Thank you, Victor. Much appreciated. And thank you for always tuning in. That's pretty much all I can say. Thank you very much. KDB o Jesus para Capitán. Me gusta mucho Jesús, pero creo que todavía pondría Kevin De Bruyne. Yep, whatever. Yep. Diaz or Stones is the one. I can tell that's going to bite me whatever way I go about it. But there you go. So the 5 transfers I'm looking to make are Lewandowski to Jesus, Sane to De Bruyne, Cancelo to Diaz, Thiago Silva to Militao, and finally Svilar to Alisson Becker. So, yeah, Diaz and Stones once again. Maybe just something I shouldn't overthink, but I am. It is what it is. I've got 0.9 million left in the bank. I'd save a little bit more by going for Stones. But there you go. Thank you, Martin. Obviously, there's a lot of great content creators out there, but thank you very much for your kind words, mate. And thank you to everyone for tuning in as always. Benzema KDB captain. Very close. I think I'd go for KDB. Yeah, 51% going for Diaz. I mean, look, honestly, it's so close. I mean, the poll literally says it itself. But in terms of ball recoveries, I think that's what snatches it. And also Diaz being more nailed in the long term. So there we go. We locked in, and no Vinicius Jr., which was the original plan, actually. So, yeah, in terms of captaincy, I will be going on Kevin De Bruyne, and everything's locked in. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate this on screen. So, if you're on the browser especially, be sure to toggle to date, and everyone on your bench, do not have anyone playing, from today's matches on your bench. Do not do that. And there you go. So, Jesus, Benzema, De Bruyne, Modric, Laporte, Militao, Diaz, and Ederson all starting, and they're all in my team. Doesn't really matter here in between Danjuma and stuff or whatever. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, there you go. So that's the team. I've kept Diaz in the end. He might be benched, and that's why I like to go for the squad depth, just in case someone like Diaz is benched. I can afford to bench him, and there's no problems there. De Bruyne is going to be my captain, I'm pretty sure. We've got 55 seconds for the deadline, so lock in your teams. Otherwise, you're going to have no other opportunity. Captain a player from today. I would highly recommend De Bruyne or Benzema. There's also Gabriel Jesus if you're looking for an ultra differential. He's only 3% owned. He could be amazing today. The same goes for Vinicius Jr. as well. All the best of luck as well. I'm probably looking to bring Joao Cancelo back in next week, whether it's for Diaz or Militao remains to be seen, but things can definitely change heading into Matchday 12. But right now, the focus is entirely on Matchday 11. Yeah, I'm going for KDB. Let me know, by the way, in the chat who you're going for in the captaincy. That would be great to know. Trent or Konate, I'd go for Trent still. May, Lewandowski, Müller, Sane, Capoue, Thiago Silva to Diaz, Jesus, Mane, KDB, Alaba, KDB captain. Yep, fantastic, mate. That looks great. Good luck to you as well, Alex. Diaz or Militao, I'd go for Diaz. Buena suerte, amigo. Buena suerte para vos también, Christian. Best captain, I think, yeah, I literally just answered that as well. Benzema or Jesus, Benzema, if I had to pick one. Benzema captain confirmed for you. Yeah, I just put De Bruyne. I'm trying to crack into the top 1,000 and captaining Jesus. I mean, that could be a great shout. I like Jesus. And yeah, I think if I had to rank it, it'd be KDB first, Benzema second, Jesus third for the captaincy. But Jesus could be an ultra differential. There we go. We're locked in. We can't change anymore. And oh yeah, my predictor. Oh well. 2-1 City. I think I'd stay with the same thing. Maybe 3-2 or something like that. I think both teams will score. And I've gone for Kevin De Bruyne to score first. So yeah, that doesn't really change. Probably 3-0 for Liverpool tomorrow as well. I'll change that once I see the lineups tomorrow. Good luck to Victor as well. Once again, thank you very much. And everyone else watching. Yeah, the team is saved. Don't worry, the team is absolutely saved, as you can see. And if we refresh this one, yeah, we're locked in. So it's completely fine. We're locked in. There's no problems there. And then, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see. Let's see, what else do we have? Benzema, Jesus captain. I'd still go for Benzema, I think, but very, very close between the two. Captain Mane, Salo, Benzema, Jesus. The Liverpool player shouldn't be in the discussion. It should be Real Madrid or City, because you can change the captaincy tomorrow. So I would have gone for Jesus or Benzema, and actually I would have been very tempted by Jesus, just for the differential side of it, and I can always go for a Liverpool player tomorrow. Yeah, Stone starts all the UCL matches. Yeah, look, either way, I think there's not much to split them. It's just the ball recoveries and Diaz being more nailed in my mind that kind of swung it that way. And to be fair, Stones was starting a lot recently because Diaz was out and they had Cancelo and Walker available. Thank you, Zodiac. Much appreciated you always tuning in. Thank you, Yasser. Mucha suerte para vos también. Mahrez Captain, good luck, mate. Hopefully it turns out right for you. I'm going to put the game on now and enjoy the game. That's pretty much the main thing. Hopefully we see a great game of football, which it should be. Jesus Captain, I really like that. Honestly, I really like that. Good luck, mate. Captain for tomorrow, probably Salah. And I'd really be tempted by Mane if I had him, but I don't. So it'd probably be Salah. Kanate locked. Yeah, and look, Kanate's been great, and I think he will play in the Champions League. Yeah, deadline is over. I've gone for Mahrez as captain. Wow, yeah. Seeing quite a lot of differential ones, between Mahrez and Jesus. That looks pretty good. But yeah, let's see if this is refreshed and we can see some points on the board. Which, to be fair, probably nothing has happened yet. But, great, yeah, it's now going to kind of bug out. But yeah, that should be a great game. I'm going to put the game on now. If you've got any more questions or comments, let me know. We're going to be wrapping up fairly shortly. Alright, yeah, I've pretty much got the game up now. I just jinxed it. The link is gone. Alright, great. That link doesn't work. Fantastic. This one doesn't work either. Great. Jeez, this is a trial and error thing. Okay, none of them are working right now, so I'll just leave that for now. Let's see, what else do we have? No, in terms of showing the match, you're going to get copyright for that. I'm definitely not going to do that, unfortunately. So yeah, many thanks, Dylan. Best of luck. Enjoy the football, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for always tuning in, and all the best of luck. Hopefully you enjoy this match day, most importantly, and you get the points you want. I went for 4 Liverpool defenders. I mean, to be fair, they got the best chance of a clean sheet this week, so that makes sense. I captained Diaz. Manish, yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about Ruben Diaz, right? Because you're not captain players from Liverpool on the Tuesday because they're playing on the Wednesday. You can change the captaincy in this. Which rank are you aiming for? To be honest, I'm very happy with where I am, but I want to get into the top 500. Are you serious? He's my captain. Jesus. Oh my God. Wow. That is crazy. That is very, very crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to get the game up and it's just bloody not working. I can't even see De Bruyne's goal. Well done, De Bruyne. I mean, look, he's been in great form. Imagine everyone just collectively decided to troll me. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I just can't get a stream. It's bloody annoying. I'm going to try sort that out anyway. Yeah, 1-0 C. That was really quick. Yeah. Wow. There you go. Maybe the person who said go for Diaz and Stones was right. And to be honest, it made sense. But I don't regret that, to be fair. Who got the assist, though? That's what I'm... Yeah, look, as you can see here. Look at that. Both ticks. De Bruyne and Man City. Wow. Okay, so I got that right. Yes, sir. Yeah, look, this isn't even updated yet. Come on, mate. Come on. What's wrong with this website? Come on. I want to see the points. Yeah? Well, I mean, it's very good to have a captaincy haul already because then you don't really need to change it ahead of the Wednesday. So, yeah. That is great. That is bloody great. Don't know why this website isn't working, by the way, with the links. I want to watch the game. Honestly, mate, come on. Probably gonna have to ask someone for a link. So yeah, I'm gonna go on WhatsApp right now and literally ask someone for a link. So yeah. Oh, what day is it today? Isn't it? This could be the day to download a certain app. I'm not gonna name it. Mahrez assist. I'll get fair play. Look, those of you with Mahrez and Benzema, fair play. Benzema, sorry, and Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, well, look, Benzema's still a great option. He can still score. Look, it's just very early on in the game. Whoever captain Mahrez, congratulations. Yep. I changed the captaincy at last minute to KDB. I mean, I already said it from the whole time. Obviously, when I was on the transfer section, it showed, what's it called? The captaincy on Benzema. That's because I didn't make my transfers yet, but I constantly said I'm probably going to go to KDB. Alright, so yeah. KDB already with a banger. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Yeah, I told you, Dylan, Militao was not necessary. But I don't regret it, honestly. Like, yes, I backed City more for the clean sheet than Real Madrid, but I mean, what, we're 5 minutes into the game? Like, do you think Madrid are not going to score? Like, they still can. And what if Benzema scores, for example? Then it doesn't really matter. They all blank. Then maybe Militao gets more ball recoveries. I think it's far too early to tell, personally. Scoring in the first 2 minutes plus 3 points. Oh, what? Really? I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest. I never heard of that, but yeah. Maybe I think my internet's gone or something. Well, yeah, look, 19 points already. Jesus. But the thing is, like, look, I already got free City defensive coverage. So I honestly, look, as much as, even if City keep a clean sheet today, I don't regret it. If Stones scores, I will be a bit frustrated because I was literally like debating in my head between Diaz and Stones. But other than that, I don't think I'd regret any of these decisions, to be quite frank. Fair play to those of you with De Bruyne and Mahrez. That is a great, great haul. Yeah, look, Benzema can still do really well. Exactly, it can still be a high-scoring match. Like, yeah, obviously, we'll wait and see. Madrid have a great attack. Benzema is probably the best player in the world right now. Mahrez got the assist and he's my captain, so I'll take it. Yeah, I liked Mahrez a lot. I got him in Matchday 7. And, yeah, look, he's a great UCL Fantasy option. I literally removed Ella Militao. Yeah. City already scored, yeah. When are you about to change the captain? Change the captain. No, it was always between KDB and Benzema for me. In terms of will I change it for tomorrow to Salo? Probably not. Especially if KDB gets another attacking return today. But yeah, De Bruyne was always the must-have player in my opinion after Lewandowski got eliminated. So in a way, maybe the Bayern elimination is a blessing in disguise, because would I have De Bruyne if Lewandowski was still in the competition? Probably not, actually. But you never know with these things. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'm just going to put my this screen on so you can see my current rank. So I had 56 points last week in Matchday 11. No, Matchday 10. We're in Matchday 11 now. So my rank is 830 and my overall points is 792. But obviously now I've got 19 points already. So a very good start. Let's wait and see what the match today and also tomorrow has in store for us. And thank you for all the polls and stuff that you voted and partook in. It's very much appreciated. And as you can see, Diaz won the vote in the end. It's going to be typical if Stones actually gets the goal or something. I'm good, Prithik. What about you? Hopefully I pronounced your name right. If not, I'll call you Sankala. But yes, I'm doing very well. What about you? And yeah, enjoying the game. Obviously, I say enjoying the game. I can't get a link. KDB Captain and Mahrez in. Wow, fair play. That's what I mean. There's going to be people out there with both, and that's a really good one. Wow, Captain and Benzema over KDB. Honestly, look, it's very typical to kind of react to the opening minutes of a game and say, oh, I should have done this. But honestly, Benzema can still score a hat-trick or something. It's literally, that's the quality of play we're talking about. The Champions League, you know, these matches are on a knife edge. Anything can happen. There's still, how many minutes left? Like, what, 80 minutes? Come on, there's still a long way to go. Thank you, Peter Peters. Much appreciated as always. Good to see you on here again. Thank you, David. And it's good to see everyone here. Enjoy the football, mate. That's literally what we're going to do now. We're going to watch the game and have some fun. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Vincent, for tuning in. And thank you, everyone, for the comments. Keep smashing the like button. It really helps out the channel. And subscribing if you're new. We're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers. And also, next season, we're going to have more targets for sure. There's going to be F1 Fantasy content during the summer. There could be gaming content. So let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see that. And there's still going to be FPL and UCL Fantasy content until the end of this season, so long as obviously those competitions are still about. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, for the latest FPL and UCL Fantasy news. All the best of luck for Matchday 11 and also Game Week 35 in FPL. And there's also one more game in 34 to be had as well between Chelsea and Man United. That should be very interesting. But take care, enjoy the football. I'll see you on the stream later this week for FPL, and I'll see you next time.